of ABC Sports.
On an overcast Saturday afternoon in Columbus, Ohio, the Michigan State Spartans come a-calling. The Spartans are coming off one of their greatest triumphs ever. Last week in East Lansing, Michigan, they upset the arch-rival Michigan Wolverines. But here today, the Spartans are matched against the Ohio State Buckeyes. And the Buckeyes come in on a roll. Ranked as high as number 5 in one poll, they are unbeaten. And it will be the Spartans of George Perlis trying to stage still another upset as they come to Columbus, and ABC Sports presents college football, a Big Ten Conference matchup. It's Michigan State against Ohio State, and this is the time of the season when the Big Ten begins to devour each other. Penn State, beaten today, now falls out of the unbeaten ranks. 3 teams remain unbeaten in the conference. Only 2 will still be there once this game ends today. Well, welcome everybody with Dick Vermeil. I'm Brett Musburger. Dick, you have been raving about one matchup you want the fans to watch today.
Well, Dan Wilkinson, the big 6'6", 300-pound defensive tackle for Ohio State, wears number 72. Brent, if he was wearing number 92, I'd swear it was Reggie White, the perennial All-Pro in the NFL. He is a fine, fine football player. Now, Michigan State has a very efficient passing attack. Jimmy Miller throwing at 67% complete. But if they don't handle Big Daddy properly today, they're not going to get 50%.
Oh, it's going to be something here. The Spartans and the Buckeyes coming your way on ABC in just a moment.
Introducing the captains.
State wins the flip. They'll defer, and Jack Arute, that means the Ohio State Buckeyes will receive and go on the attack first.
And that'll make things interesting, Brent, because you talked about the fact Big Daddy and the defense are so strong here. Well, they like to talk Ohio State about their first strikes. Consider this point. In the first 5 games, the Ohio State Buckeyes have scored points in their first possession. And they have a variety of weapons in their arsenal to score those points. It can be the toe of Tim Williams. It can also be short runs by people like Raymond Harris, or long runs like Buster Binote did a couple of weeks ago. It also can be another field goal. They just continue to put points up when they are in their first possession. Then last week, Bob Hoying connected with a short pass to Joey Galloway in the Illinois game despite some wind, and they put points on the board. That's real important because you've got to put points on the board in order to win games. They've got that in their arsenal, and they like that fact. Let's go to Brent.
Jack, something has to give. The Michigan State defense has not surrendered a single point in the first quarter, and they have scored 34 themselves. So it is streak against streak as we get ready to begin here in Columbus, Ohio, with the Buckeyes enjoying their best season yet under John Cooper. This is the kickoff man and the field goal specialist for the Spartans, Bill Stoyanovich. And for Buckeye fans, Binote, number 33, returns to their lineup. He had only 1 kickoff return last week against Illinois. This is Terry Glenn to the 32-yard line, where the Buckeyes will come out with quarterback Bobby Hoying. He is the grandson of the late Wally Post, the one-time great outfielder with the Cincinnati Reds, and it will be this attack. Now, Dick Vermeil, they script their first plays. What's the first play of the game going to be for Hoying and the Buckeyes?
It's going to be a bootleg waggle, Brent, with a man in motion trying to hit the slot corner or the delay outside it on first play of the game.
So here it comes. They're going to open up. Raymond Harris, he's the tailback, and Jeff Cothran's the fullback.
Get back behind there. I don't care if you're listening or not.
Now here comes Hoying on the throw, and he's got Galloway with the first play of the game, pushed out of bounds. So the opening play that Dick Vermeil told you they were going to call works to perfection. 19 yards to Galloway.
Well, they wanted to go to the corner pattern. The zone defense took it away. They just dropped the control pattern to the bottom of your screen. You'll see Joey Galloway now. You see him at the bottom of your screen. See, he rolls out there naked, no blockers in front of him. There's the little delay. The zone dropped off. Advances the football. The second play is going to be the same motion, and they're going to run the ball now. They're going to run it. Hand it off to the tailback, Raymond Harris.
Same motion, using a different receiver this time, Terry Glenn. And here's Raymond Harris pounding into the middle of the defense, and Reggie Garnett, the middle linebacker, helping out on the stop, number 22. Backs and receivers for the Ohio State Buckeyes today. Raymond Harris, who carried 30 times against Illinois. He is the workhorse against perhaps the finest line in college football. Folks, all 5 of them are outstanding. Garnett, who was in on that stop, a freshman who's getting better and better with every game for the Spartans. Myron Bell turned in some key defensive plays last week for the Spartans against Michigan.
This is going to be a play-action slant pass to Galloway here.
There it is. Galloway on the play-action slant to the 25, and Myron Bell, a 20-yard gain, first and 10 Bucks.
On 2nd and long, Michigan State likes to play a zone defense. So they run play action to freeze the linebackers. Now here at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a little 5-step wham. He throws it there off the action. The ball's in the receiver's hands. It's first down. Now they've scripted the first 15 plays, Brent. 9 of them are passes, trying to break the run emphasis.
Ball at Michigan State's 26-yard line. Coin, incomplete. Galloway had his hands on it, turned, and then lost control.
You said that perfectly, Brent. You said he turned and lost control. What he turned first was his head. He turned his head first, and therefore he didn't concentrate with his eyes watching that ball come into his hands. It's such a fundamental thing. Now watch number 7. See him turn. Now watch his head move. See his head there? He was not concentrating on the football. He doesn't drop many.
Raymond pounding again behind Klein with Matt Christensen, the linebacker, number 45, hauling him down.
You know, today we're going to really enjoy, Brent, watching Jeff Cothran, the fullback, block for Ohio State. Does an excellent job.
Well, George Perlis, he was ecstatic after that win. He said, I've got a 24-hour rule. You can celebrate. Well, maybe it was 48 hours last week. On the other side, John Cooper, not out of the woods yet here in Columbus, despite the way the Buckeyes are playing. He's got a lot to prove against Michigan and in a bowl game. 3rd and 7. Play action, Hoyne, plenty of time. Touchdown, Ohio State. Joey Galloway, and the Buckeye streak continues.
They were in a double zone look, meaning 2 deep safeties and 2 corners rolled up. The play action away held the weak safety. Now you'll see the 2 safeties back here. Now they're going to play action away. That holds him in this position. He goes in, bursts inside, and comes back to the corner for the touchdown. And you'll see the action away. Now he bursts inside. The corner drops off. Hits it, throws it perfectly.
And now the man who I think makes Ohio State a big favorite to win the Big Ten. Tim Williams, number 23, adds the extra point. Williams now has a streak of extra points going here with the Buckeyes of Ohio State. It's at 67. 7-0 Buckeyes.
Climb up the AFC West. Head to the mountains for a mile-high showdown with the Denver Broncos on ABC's Monday Night Football.
For Ohio State, the emphasis is on the pass today. And for Joey Galloway, the emphasis is on scoring. 8 touchdowns, and he's touched the ball 24 times this season. 6 receiving TDs and 2 rushing. He's a big play man indeed. Now Williams and the Bucks will kick it off. And again, to go back on that point I was making about Williams, he is the most consistent field goal kicker of the unbeatens left, and even those teams that have lost once, including Penn State and Michigan. Thompson bobbles and is hit and down right away, wrapped up by Aust. So Jimmy Miller, the very efficient senior quarterback, comes out for the Spartans of Michigan State. Waterford, Michigan. Came out of the same high school that produced the great Kirk Gibson, who went on to play football and later Major League Baseball. Trailing by 7 points. One of the things to watch with the Michigan State offense, Perlis will probe for the hot hand. Craig Thomas, he is the lone running back, and they also have been hot on their first possession. into the middle of that defense to the 16-yard line. Now he will rotate Thomas and Dwayne Goulbourne at that tailback spot. Mill Coleman, the big play man. The offensive line is huge. Average is better than 300 pounds. And they will be trying to handle Big Daddy, number 72. And one of the ways you do it is you run at somebody like that. Very talented defensive backfield here at Ohio State. Goulbourne has checked in. It's Goulbourne, left side, and Goulbourne to the 20-yard line. This will leave a 3rd and 4. Lorenzo Stiles, number 90, brings him down.
Brent, the way they plan to attack this defense is not so much from a scheme standpoint. They've predicated their offensive game plan, both running and passing, on handling Dan Wilkinson. They're going to slide the protection to him, and they're going to trap him like they did on that first run play. He is such a penetrating type player, they think they can trap him and run underneath him.
Got to get to the 24-yard line for their first down. Miller's going to throw for it, incomplete. Michigan State forced a punt on their first series.
They will try not to block Big Daddy, number 72, right there in the middle of your screen with one person. See the center and guard working to him. They're sliding to him, but in turn, they singled up Craig Powell, number 84, and he's a tremendous pass rusher and linebacker.
Let's remember that Chris Salami has had his problems punting for the Spartans. This one, he gets off. Galloway from the 48 to the midfield, and fumble! Michigan State! Michigan State recovers. Ball is out of bounds at the 29-yard line, and that was Glover. Rich Glover, number 55, picked up the fumble and carried it back to the 30-yard line.
When you fumble a ball like that, you're not concentrating on what you have in your hand here. See, he's thinking about breaking play. See the ball way out away from his body. He was slipping. He did not have good footing. He was trying to regain his balance, using the ball as a lever to gain balance. When Ohio State gives the ball away, their defense responds real well. Brent, in the whole season so far, they've given the ball away. Here it is 9 times and only given up 2 touchdowns. Pretty good defense.
Thomas is the Spartan tailback. Thomas cannot break Randall Brown's grasp. Great stop by Brown.
Important for Randall Brown to play well, Brent. He's from Detroit. These guys are all, went to school in the same general area as those Michigan State kids. And he said it was really important for him to play well today. George Perlis, he said this week he's been emphasizing enthusiasm and talking about team chemistry.
Goulbourne checks in. Rushed for 99 yards against Michigan last week. Miller going to throw. Coverage breaks down and he's sacked at the 45-yard line by Jason Simmons.
Jason Simmons is the leading sacker in the history of Ohio State. Here he is. And I talked with him yesterday. He said he was never going to get head up on the big tackles. He was going to try to stay on the shoulder and go around him or under him. That time he used a move. He moved him outside and then went under him. Good job. Add 1 more sack to his record. Now 24.5.
And Perlis sends Thomas back in.
They don't sack him very often, as you can see by that stat.
They'll have to do it again here on 3rd and 25. All 3 wide men over to Miller's right. This time he had time and he throws to the 35. First down. The drill gets out of bounds at the corner of the flag over there.
So you can really sag off and then play your zone defenses in those long yardage situations.
Well, they were short. They're going to send up. They were short of the first down, and the field goal team trots onto the field. So Stoyanovich, this will be a 47-yard attempt.
He's 2 for 3 this year from that distance.
Good. A 47-yard field goal following the fumble by Galloway. So Galloway giveth 7 to the Buckeyes and taketh away 3 on his fumble. Finally on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet, who invites you to see the all-new Chevy cars for 1994. Magnavox, the ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart. The light beer with the great imported taste, Amstel Light, right? Allied Signals Fram filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later. Glad to have you along with us here. College football, the second game of our doubleheader on ABC. Already an exciting game over at Happy Valley. Michigan Wolverines, and what a gut check that was for that team, going back on the road after the tough loss at East Lansing last Saturday, and they came through in splendid fashion. Next week go home to Ann Arbor to play Illinois. Here it is, Ohio State leading 7-3. Little fair catch down there on the kickoff by Cedric Saunders. And speaking of Saunders, John, what do you got for us in New York?
I'm everywhere, Brent. A strange one between Washington and UCLA. After Washington fumbled on the 1, UCLA's Wayne Cook mishandles the snap, and that's a safety. So Washington takes a 9-0 lead. This is their Rose Bowl as they play in the Rose Bowl. Brent, back to you.
Yeah, they are certainly determined to run roughshod through the Pac-10 after being suspended for a couple of years. Now Bobby Hoyne is the quarterback, and the flag comes down.
Substitution infraction, 12 men on the field, 5-yard penalty.
Referee is Dick Honig.
You know, Joe Hollis, the offensive coordinator for Ohio State, said they've played enough games that they've developed some tendencies. So a lot of things they're going to do today within their offensive game plan is get into some formations and break the things they've been doing from it. If they're in a running look, they're going to throw from it. If they're in a throwing look, they're going to run from it.
Penalty flag. Pass is complete to Galloway, out of bounds at the 34, but there is a flag. So the Buckeyes, after that splendid opening drive, making some mistakes, but Jack Arute, that opening touchdown had to give him a lift, didn't it?
Well, Brent, it was very interesting to note the offense that's out on the field right now. They weren't concerned at all when there was that turnover of possession and the three-point score. They have a lot of faith in their defense. Conversely, the defense has a lot of faith in the offense. Looking at the sidelines, they weren't at all concerned about the way the breakdowns have been occurring right now in this series. And I think part of that reason, Brent, is because most of them stayed on campus and worked out together all summer without benefit of coaches. A lot of leadership, as you know, Coach Vermeil, can develop in a situation like that.
Well, Jack, tell him to get concerned. It's 1st and 20.
I'll tell you, the coaches are concerned, Jack.
Raymond Harris to the 15-yard line. That's a couple of yards.
Rob Fredrickson did a nice job. The game plan put together by Norm Parker, the defensive coordinator, is that they're going to try to the open side of the formation, meaning the side of the formation away from the tight end, is to bring the linebacker on that side and get somebody in the running back space, or if it's the quarterback coming around the corner on a rollout, get somebody in his face quickly.
Second and a bunch. Hoyne throwing to his tight end, and Saunders out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
Offensive line did a real nice job of handling the stunt 4-3 twist inside. They zoned it off, passed the people off, gave him the time to handle that crossing pattern, because that does take a lot of time. Nice job by that offensive line.
Look at that offensive line stand there in array. How would you like to take on Klein, Winrow, Thrush, Mono, and Stringer? What a group.
Oh, my God.
Look at them as they come now and set down. How would you like to try to penetrate that front wall? It's why the Buckeyes are unbeaten. Cothran, the fullback, and Hoyne says, timeout. Let's check on this one. And he'll come over to John Cooper. He's 2-1 against Michigan State here at Ohio State. Last week, East Lansing. Tyrone Wheatley trying to get started. Christensen with a great stop on him. The Spartans played an inspired, air-free football game from beginning to end, and number 6 could not get the job done. Take a look at what a difference a week makes with the Wolverines of Michigan. Against Michigan State, Wheatley for only 33 yards, and today 192 against Penn State as Michigan comes back with 230 rushing yards against a very talented Penn State defense. That shows you just how good a game Michigan State played on defense a week ago. Now it's Galloway. It's 3rd and 6. Michigan State will be watching him right now. He's lined up to the right of Hoyne.
They're audibling their 3rd down package passing game according to the coverage they see coming.
They try to press Galloway, so they throw short to Sanders, and he's got the first down at the 40-yard line. This is Chris Sanders. He's a track man, and he has been improving the last couple of weeks, giving the Buckeyes still another weapon on offense.
They use their Dover call, meaning over. See, the 2 deep safeties here, that tells him double zone, so he knows he's going to cross free here, and the underneath coverage is going to have to take him. The code word was Dover. See, he saw that. They ran him out of there. Actually, they were man under with 2 free safeties.
Hoyne 5 of 6 for 86 yards and that touchdown to Galloway. The fullback, Cothran, crosses midfield, or gets close to it, I should say, to the 48-yard line.
I had a chance to visit with Cothran on the practice field Thursday, Brent, and I asked him how he liked being a fullback, you know, a blocking type fullback, carry the ball occasionally. He said, well, I came here as a 205-pound tailback, and I just got bigger. And now here I am at 235 pounds. I like my role. He says they do throw me the ball, but I really take pride in my blocking.
He's replaced now by an extra tight end. 2nd and short. Power football is this alignment. And it's Harris swinging to the left and the outside for the Buckeye first down. Fredrickson making the stop, but not before Raymond Harris picked up another Buckeye first down.
Big Stringer, the young sophomore, 6'6", 310-pound offensive lineman. There he is, number 78. Well, look at him blocking outside now on one Hammond. See, and he's a stick and stay guy. See, once you get by that guy, you just can't get around him. See, he's very, very persistent.
Terrific replay. Corey Stringer, you could take this entire offensive line and eventually move it intact to the NFL, give a good coach for 10 years, and it would be a winning line in the NFL. That's how good they are. Now, Hoyne off a beautiful fake, throws, fumble, Michigan State.
I don't think
a beautiful recovery on the fumble here by Cothran, and the Spartans have done it again. What a great recovery this was here on the sideline by Myron Bell.
It was a waggle type play. They fake one way, come back out the other way, get the fullback out of the backfield. Now here he is at the bottom of the screen. Boy, I don't think he ever had possession of the football, Brent. He never had possession.
Damian Manson stripped it, and Myron Bell recovered it.
Takeaways there. Offense scored 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, takeaways.
First down for the Spartans. The Buckeyes have turned it over twice. Craig Thomas, the running back, play fake. Miller complete to midfield, and Bobby Organ, the tight end. I want to take another look at this because Dick Vermeil thinks that the fullback did not have possession here.
A little hard to tell. See, he's still bobbling it there. See, boy, it's a good job of stripping it too. But it looked like to me that he did not have possession of the ball.
Might have turned his back to the official who had the call over there on that side, and he couldn't see the juggling act going on, and that's why it wasn't called. 2nd and short now. Steve Holman is the tailback. His carry for a first down. So Holman, who was rested last week against the Wolverines, slams for a first down. I want to remind everybody now, next Saturday, and suddenly this one has a little more luster than it did a few hours ago, as the Fighting Illini will go take on the suddenly revitalized Wolverines of Michigan.
You know, Illinois is a very good defensive football team, Brent. Had the opportunity to study them this week in preparation for this game. They're a good defensive team.
Miller to Holman, and Holman suddenly the active back. Holman to the 29-yard line. Where'd this guy come from, Dick?
Well, he normally stands right behind Coach Perlis and waits for his opportunity to run. He's the third-string tailback, and Perlis told us last night he's always breathing down my back. And he says, now, coach, now, coach? No, not yet. Here it's now. Little screen pass out here, lay off late. A missed tackle right there by Coleman. Poor footing on this wet turf. I'll tell you, Craig Powell doesn't miss many tackles. I think the wet turf is going to affect the pass rush some too, Brent.
And here he is again. Struggling to the 25-yard line. So Steve Holman, suddenly the workhorse. And Lorenzo Styles, the middle linebacker, number 90. And you see that black numeral there, 90? Back in 1968, when Ohio State won the national championship, the last Big Ten team to do it, they had numbers on their jerseys like that. So in honor of that great team, and of course they are being honored here today themselves. There was a big banquet. There was a big banquet for them last night.
Hard to score on this Buckeye defense running the football.
Thomas on a cutback. Inside the 25. John Saunders with an update. Take it away.
Brent, Tennessee and Alabama, the big one in the Southeastern Conference, and Heath Schuler's had it again on his back foot, 25 yards to Craig Faulkner, 19th touchdown pass of the season. That's a new Tennessee record, and they lead. Brent.
Oh, he is a magic man. You folks who can still call your pay-per-view that are watching this game, you might want to dial up and have that one penciled in. We got a couple of good ones going right now. Steve Holman back in at tailback. He gets another carry. What a determined effort he is giving. Now, George Perlis, let's remember how he uses his tailbacks. He will go with the guy with the hot hand. And Holman is indicating that he has come with a hot hand here.
Now, here's the guy with a hot hand, a big hand, number 72, Dan Wilkinson. See, two people blocking him. He spins out of it. Now, picture a man with that mobility at 6'6", 305 pounds. They are having trouble with their cleats in the turf.
First down. Well, it's interesting, speaking of this grass surface, George Perlis says grass is a fad. He says, we've got a multi-purpose stadium in East Lansing. I'm going to change the carpet next year. He said there are as many serious injuries on grass as there are on carpets. Not as tiring, perhaps, to the legs. You can't practice on it, but he will continue to use it for games. Holman, the tailback. He was trying to hold up Luke Fickle. He was a one-time wrestling champion. He was trying to wrestle his way back out of that one.
He had the Fickle finger of fate that time.
Offside, defense, 5 yards,
he couldn't stop. So he just slid safely into the center.
This guy, Fickle, is an outstanding student, Brent. He's a medicine student, honor student. Look at him right there in the middle of your screen. He starts to slant, see? And he started that slant. He's listening to the quarterback's voice. He's safe at second.
You bet.
Ran into a guy at Victory's Pizza Parlor last night that said that Fickle is a great wrestler. 3-time state champion. If he wrestled at Ohio State, he'd win the Nationals, he said.
And Holman is slammed down that time by Lorenzo Styles.
Lorenzo Styles is a sophomore from Farrell, Pennsylvania. He was in looking at film the other day when I walked in with the linebacker meeting room. He doesn't say much. He and Mark Williams were looking in there asking questions. You could see he was really seriously concentrating on what Michigan State was doing with the ball.
Dick, with all the attention on Big Daddy, the other defensive players like Styles need to step up.
But they will too. They have that ability, Brent.
Here's second down. Big Daddy drawing one double team, one trap block after another. Look at him force his way toward Miller, incomplete. At the 2-yard line, he wanted Napoleon Outlaw.
He should have gone to his tight end. He really should have. He's forcing it. He'd had his first down easily that time. Bob Morgan was in a control route getting underneath that pattern, and he threw it right over the top of it. You'll see what I'm talking about maybe on this shot. He gets the ball away quickly there, but it's a hit right at the end. Had a man wide open underneath that pattern.
This is a big call for Perlis and his staff. 3rd and 7. Craig Thomas. He's the tailback. Blitz. Miller for the end zone. Incomplete. Carter, the freshman, had 6.
It looked like
there, and he couldn't wrap it up.
It looked like he should have caught it. A true freshman. Played well last week in his first game. Coach Perlis is saying, hey, listen, buddy, I still love you. You're going to play for me for 3 or 4 more years. I can accept it. But next time, you better catch that football. He's not that patient, really.
A 34-yarder for Stoyanovich. No good. So the kicking game again gives the Buckeyes an edge in this football game. And Perlis exasperated because Stoyanovich missed one late last week against Michigan that would have put it out of the wood earlier.
I guarantee you Stoyanovich will not go over close to Coach Perlis. He will stay away from him because Coach Perlis says, I talk to kickers, punters, and quarterbacks the same way I talk to all players.
So George took off his headset and he went over to Stoyanovich. There.
That's tough. 1 of 2 today. Made the tough one, missed the easier one.
Now look, no one wants to talk to a guy now. I mean, they were all over there when he kicked one.
Yeah. They want to carry him off the field.
Bobby Hoyne and the Buckeyes leading 7-3 with a first down at the 20-yard line. Benote. And again, well defense that time as Damian Manson helped come up and press from that secondary. And just like Wheatley a week ago, Michigan State attacks very quickly. You have to wonder if they're not vulnerable to the rush or some kind of a halfback pass or something. Their defensive backfield comes up so quickly to press against the running backs.
Well, I think, too, they're playing the tendencies of Ohio State by formation. That's how they're defensing them. As Ohio State goes through the game and breaks those tendencies, they'll slow down that secondary support.
Benote off a fake. Hoyne sets, throws, and it was complete at the 25 to Jeff Cothran, the fullback. And we go to John Saunders. John, what about Oklahoma and Colorado?
Well, Brent, as you know, the Sooners trying to remain undefeated, but Cordell Stewart to Charles Johnson underneath the coverage. He curls in, and then it's a foot race. 64 yards. Johnson with the touchdown, and the Buffs leading the Sooners now 13-0. Brent, back to you.
Well, Oklahoma favored by 4.5 points in that one, and they face an uphill battle now in the second half. If that quarterback gets the ball into the hands of the wide receivers without making mistakes, the Buffaloes will be tough. 3rd and 5. Hoyne sprinting to the left, throwing incomplete and out of bounds. Galloway was very well covered by Stan Callender that time. Callender was all over Joey Galloway.
Coach Cooper told me he was concerned about their tight man-to-man coverage as they played against Michigan last week, because the tight man-to-man coverage is backed up by 2 free safeties, and you don't see a lot of that, or week in and week out in college football. And it takes a lot of preparation to learn how to handle those kind of problems, and that was one of his concerns.
Scott Turner, a young man from Hawaii, back to punt, standing at the 11-yard line. Jack Arut's got to tell me sometime today, what's he doing here from Hawaii?
Beautiful punt.
Here's Mill Coleman, the thrill. Looking for room, and he's wrapped up at the 30. They never left their lanes as they came down the field and crushed him. Alex Rodriguez, a backup linebacker, leading the way.
He's a tough guy, Alex is. And he plays a lot, too. He came into the ballgame with 16 tackles. He's a good baseball player. He played baseball for Ohio State this last spring, but there was a vicious clip on that punt return, and it was not called. I mean, a dead smack hit right in the middle of the back.
Buckeyes 7, Spartans 3. Michigan State has not taken advantage of its opportunities. Thomas, again the running back. And Miller will throw on first down. Straight down the middle, complete. to the 19-yard line, and Napoleon Outlaw.
Brent, what they did, they have been running every snap from that kind of motion. They've been running plays. Here they use the same kind of motion. See the fullback there, Bryce Abrams, number 49 right here. Now he'll come back to the right. They've been running all the time from this formation. Strong run fake. You'll see that Walter Stanley, number 2, the safety, bit on the run fake, and he throws the ball perfectly. Good game planning by Morris Watts.
Napoleon Outlaw. Isn't that a wonderful name? 48 yards, and Steve Holman back in. He gets carried. And to left side, and wrapped up by 4 of the red shirts. Big Daddy coming from behind. Well, folks, it's time once again for our Coors Light Fan Picks College Football Poll. Dial this number up. Come on, 1-800-932-3000. No charge for that. Come on, you folks here in the Big Ten in Columbus. Get on that number. Call in there. Get those Big Ten teams up there. Second down. And have a Coors Light while you're at it. Second down at the 16. Why not enjoy yourself? Good ball. Beautifully at the 15-yard line.
Boy, the inside linebacker, Lorenzo Styles, really stepped up in that. He has improved so much since the first time we saw him play against the University of Washington. He read that perfectly. It was an inside trap. He read the trap blocking, and he stepped right up in there. Now, you'll see him on the left side of your screen. Now, watch the left guard pulling trap. Now, look at him fire right up in there. Freeze it right there. Look at him come in there. See him right here? Good job of filling that hole.
Now, again, 3rd and 6, Michigan State. So with the first quarter coming to an end, the Spartans will have an opportunity to talk about a 3rd and 6, and we'll be back.
Well, neither team has been able to rush the ball very well, Brent. They're passing the ball equally well. 2 turnovers by Ohio State. They're fortunate to be ahead.
Lorenzo Styles in the middle of that Buckeye defense. And they now have to wonder because Michigan State has shown a strong tendency to run. But Mill the Thrill goes out to the left. 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 6.
It looks like blitz. See, they're in the Bear defense. He didn't like it. Didn't like it.
And the senior quarterback calls a timeout. Why didn't he just simply audible out of it?
Probably not enough time, Brent, but he saw the Bear defense, pass protection problems, no way to double up on Big Daddy. I better get out of that play.
Well,
see what I'm talking about right here?
There.
They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's another guy over here, 8-man front. They're concerned about that front. He didn't like it.
Why not simply pop it to the tailback? I'll get back to that. Jack Arute, how are you, partner?
Well, I'm well, and it's still dry down here, although it's beginning to spit. But, Dick Vermeil, you were talking about the footing here on the field. We've told you before, it's prescription athletic turf, so it drains. But look at it. It's very, very deep. Brent is kind of like deep rough, if you ask me, if you're playing golf. That slows the teams down. But one of the things that Michigan State did when they came here is they are utilizing what's known as a detachable cleat shoe. They can change the height of the cleats depending upon the footing. So far, they're happy with the footing.
Good point, Jack. I think maybe we ought to give those to Brent so when he's in the rough so much and he's playing golf, that'll help him get out of the rough.
I lived in the rough yesterday at Double Eagle. I couldn't get out of it.
A double eagle is both offensive guards in the center covered by the defenders.
It's a
not a golf course.
It's a golf course outside of Columbus. 3rd down now.
See, they haven't gotten the ball to wide receivers very often.
So Carter and Coleman and Outlaw are out to Miller's left.
Blitz.
Here they come. He'll throw it away. It's 4th down, and Styles pounded through at the quarterback.
See, they just brought too many people to pick up. He had to get rid of the ball quickly. Lorenzo Styles. See number 90, the right side of your screen there. Here he comes. Freeze it right there. See him right there? Here he is. No one to pick him up.
Dick, all they had to do was throw a flanker screen if they'd have called it at the line against that Bear defense. Nobody was over on the outside.
I know. What I'll do is I'll call down to George and have him call you. Right?
Come on, Stoyanovich, kicking again. No good again. A 33-yard miss this time.
Michigan. Fresno State tackles BYU, or key games in the South and Pac-10. All next Saturday on ABC Sports.
The loneliest man in Columbus, Ohio right now is Bill Stoyanovich. Made his long one and has missed 2 since, and the Spartans trail 7-3. Meanwhile, the Buckeyes, as planned, will use Brett Powers, their transfer to quarterback this series. A fake to Benote, and Powers stick Galloway in the 36-yard line. So the Spartans let the Buckeyes off the hook, and here comes Ohio State. 16 yards on that play.
See, that strong play action inside is so tough on the linebackers, especially when you're in a one linebacker defense. See the fake inside there? Now freeze it right there, freeze it. See, no linebacker underneath coverage. Here he is up here. Linebackers are playing run.
And Joey Galloway with 4 for 77 yards and that 1 touchdown on their first series. William Houston, the fullback. Powers, fake, middle, Galloway, got it, 20, 15, he'll walk in. A penalty flag is down, but Ohio State indicating that it's against Michigan State. They will celebrate in the end zone. It's a touchdown, Buckeyes.
What they did again is they broke a tendency. A man in motion. This has been a running formation. See the man in motion over here. He moved the formation. Now watch the strong fake by Butler Bonoti, number 33. See him right here? They're still playing him. Still playing him. Excellent fake by Butler. That sold it, froze the safety, touchdown. And here's his at the end. See, he's now running a route on a free safety, Steve Wasilik, who's a fine safety, but it's not a matchup for a wide receiver. Mr. Touchdown.
Yeah, the one gamble that Michigan State took by moving Wasilik from strong over to free this year is that they gave up just a little bit of foot speed back there, and you could tell the difference. Galloway walks in a 64-yard touchdown, 5 catches, 141 yards, and 2 scores on the day. Williams. He's been the big play man. Off major knee surgery a year ago, Joey Galloway has had a hand in every point scored. Yes, even the field goal for Michigan State. Remember, he fumbled the punt. That allowed the Spartans to kick their only successful field goal. You had an opportunity to talk to him yesterday.
You know, I talked to him, and he was in the athletic department, Brent, and he was telling me that his idols as he was growing up were Harold Carmichael, who played for me, number 17 in the Eagles, and Lynn Swann. And, you know, again, it was a vivid point to me that many times you hear an NFL athlete say it's not their job to be a role model for high school kids or younger kids. Whether they want to or not, they are. They really are. And the kid knew more about Harold Carmichael. It was surprising how much he knew about him.
No, he's playing like Big Harold today with those touchdowns. Now, there was a penalty against Michigan State on the scoring play, so Williams will kick it off from midfield. And he'll kick it short. And it's Holman. Sprinting outside to the left. 20. And Holman to the 29-yard line. And Jack Arute, what a story from a backup quarterback, Brett Powers, huh?
Absolutely, Brent, but consider this story. You transfer from Arizona State, you come up here to the Midwest, and you get a little apartment. You share it with 3 guys, have a lot of fun, right? And then all of a sudden you get some new neighbors down the road about 3 doors down. Guess who they are? Howard Powers and his wife. Brett Powers' mom and dad. They've moved up here from Arizona to watch the games, the home games and the away games. That's got to be kind of tough on a ball player or a student, have your mom and dad just down the hall.
Oh, yeah, my children love that. Play fake by Miller. Here's the throw to the tight end. First down at the 40-yard line. John Saunders, what's going on elsewhere?
Brent, Florida State #1 and right back at it. Charlie Ward hooks up with Tamarick Vanover. 86 yards. The foot race to the end zone isn't even close. That was their first. Ward has another touchdown pass to Sean Jackson, 14-0. Meantime, Auburn leading Florida 28-27. About 11 minutes to go in that one. We'll keep you updated. Brent.
The Bowdens, the coaching fellows, father and son doubling their pleasure again today. Auburn on probation. Won't see him on television this year. This team's not in the toilet. Come on. The Bucks are unbeaten. Now first down. Craig Thomas gets a play fake. Miller to the tight end again. And he crosses midfield. So Oregon getting wide open coming off the line of scrimmage. And the Buckeyes will have to get a little more mindful of the tight end.
Well, they caught him in a very loose zone coverage, and the corner had backed off out of there. You'll see the tight end right here. He'll come out. He's a big guy. He was a fullback when he originally came there. He grew into a big tight end. They use play action. See him come straight out there. And the corner should roll up in that coverage a little more aggressively. He's just late getting there. Here he comes now. Here he comes, just late getting there.
13 more yards. The Spartans this time need to finish a drive, not leave themselves with a third and tough yardage down here. 1st and 10 against the Bucks, trailing 14-3. And Miller.
Oh, nice job, Lorenzo Styles. Woo! Did you see that? Boy, has he improved. He was like he was in the offensive huddle. Came right down from the backside of that. He saw the flow. You never penetrate as a flow linebacker unless you know you can get there. Now you'll see him right here in the middle. Now watch him read this properly. Flow starts to the top of the screen. See him? Keeps his shoulders. He sees that gap. Boom! He goes in and takes it. Nicely done.
2nd and 10. Offensive line holds up. And it's incomplete. Styles had dropped back on pass coverage that time, so not only can he stuff the run coming across the line of scrimmage, but he dropped back and he took Oregon.
Bobby Organ's the tight end sliding across. See him, the left-hand corner, see him sliding there. He's trying to slide away from Styles, doing it properly, but the quarterback, Miller, just threw it too far. It actually should have been intercepted.
3rd and 10. Miller under pressure, steps away from the rush, incomplete on a great hit in the secondary that time. That was Walter Taylor.
You know, Morris Watts said during the week, the offensive coordinator for Michigan State, he drilled Jim Miller at getting back to a setup spot and then drilled him at moving the pocket around to find a better throwing lane, anticipating a heavy rush. He did this nicely here. Now you watch, he's under pressure as he drops back. He gets back, he sets up nicely where he wants to. Now he feels the heat. See, now he relocates. Nice job. This ball should be a completed pass right there.
Here's the punt to Galloway. Fair catch signal. Bounces inside the 5. And it's dead.
Right there
down
on the 2.
at the 2-yard line.
He had possession over there. He didn't have to worry about throwing it back.
How about the momentum taking him on into the end zone on that, Dick? I think Cooper's got a beef on this. We'll come back and talk about it. Chris Smith, and a fine play. It was legal.
Yeah, he had possession of the ball before he went into the end zone, and he actually drops it before. See, he has possession there, 1 foot down there. He drops it out of there.
No question. Buckeyes buried, and Powers earned a second series. And he will use Binode.
You know, I wonder why you would use your small scat back in coming out of your own end zone rather than your bigger back. That confuses me.
Yeah, you would think that they'd come back with Raymond Harris.
Unless he's banged up, but you know, he's 220 pounds. Butler Banote is 185 soaking wet.
2nd down. So John Cooper electing to go with Banote. He is in there behind Cothran. Powers was 2 of 2 for 80 yards and a touchdown. Do they dare throw out of this, the sacred hallowed ground of one Woody Hayes? No. They hand it off to Benote. Let's check the Big Ten scores today. This is that time of year when this conference starts to devour one another right now, and especially over at Penn State today with Michigan upsetting the Nittany Lions 21-13. Minnesota pounding Northwestern. Wisconsin with an easy win, and Illinois over Iowa 29-3. Illinois goes to Ann Arbor next week to play Michigan. One thing about the Fighting Illini, a fine defensive team. Speaking of defense, Michigan State will try to dig in here on 3rd and 5. They will try to force a punt. Powers sprints to the left. Powers will go down, overthrow, and incomplete, and Ohio State goes 3 and out.
You have to have a lot of confidence in your defense to run a rollout out and go deep on 3rd and 5 coming out of your own end zone. You've got to have confidence in your defense to make that kind of play rather than trying to get the first down and move the ball further out.
Well, here comes Turner, a young man from Hawaii.
He walked on here, Brent.
Well, you just know that he's got to be more comfortable with a surfboard than he is with a helmet.
Yeah, well, the turf's wet.
There's the thrill he'll try to give Michigan State fans one here. Almost blocked. Did get it off, though. Well done by Turner. From the 46-yard line, it's Coleman. Up the middle. Broke one tackle and down at the 35. Jack Arute, tell me about Scott Turner.
Well, Brent, you know, he's a junior walk-on this year, and he had a unique way to describe the first time he punted in this stadium. He said it's a lot like riding a surfboard in the tube of a wave at the Bonsai Pipeline in Hawaii. Now, he says that there's an incredible calm amidst all the noise. And I'll tell you what, he should know because he surfed the pipeline since he was a little kid. He grew up on the northeast shore of Oahu. But I don't know if I've ever seen a pipeline like trying to dig one out of your own end zone and get it out across these Michigan State defenders.
Hey, Jack, you're a daredevil. You ever surf?
Yeah, I've surfed. I've bungee jumped. I've skydived. You name it. I'm crazy.
Nice to have you. Oh, baby. Here's the throw. And it's complete inside the 20. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Arute has done everything.
You know, he's only been around with us now 2 weeks, and it doesn't take long to find out that he has done everything.
Well, Brent, it's catching. Hey, it's catching. You know, you've done everything.
Yeah, there's a few things that I haven't done.
But he'll get to them, believe me.
Now Steve Holman.
They did a nice job that time, Brent, of moving the pocket, rolling them out.
1st and 10. Coleman, and he is stopped after a 2-yard gain. But Dick, there's something that I want you to watch with me, because Jack Arute indeed has done everything. But I must tell you, Jack, that I am quite concerned, because when you were out in Colorado leading the Buffaloes out, it seemed to me, big fella, that you had lost a step. Now, ladies and gentlemen, watch. Watch, Jack. Get up there. Come on, Jack. You see, Dick, I am very concerned about our man.
Freeze it there. Freeze it there. Freeze it there. Look at that. Freeze it. I'd say he's a little overweight.
But nice going, Jack. You're not supposed to hold the Buffalo back.
Hey, I was going to be the first guy to stop a 1,300-pound Buffalo.
Well, here is Holman, and he pounds to the 7-yard line. They can't stop him. Speaking of stopping somebody.
Well, he's a 220-pounder, you know, and he's only carried the ball 4 times coming into this game, 11 times last year. So what they're doing right now is using the bigger back for inside power running.
So it is 1st and goal, and this perhaps the most important series of the game for Michigan State. I think 14-3 now. They have misfired on 2 field goals down here for George Perlis. They need to get into the end zone.
I think they need to throw on 1st down, Brent. Don't wait to 3rd down.
Well, let's see if they do that.
They don't like to.
Well, they use the fullback against Michigan as a receiver. They don't. It's Holman on a nifty cutback run. He got all he could to about the 3-yard line with Craig Powell battling him. You've got to love, if you're a Michigan State fan, the way Holman's playing.
See, and also now with that nice gain on 1st down, Brent, knowing George Perlis and Morris Watson, how they think, they'll try to pound this thing in there. 2.5 yards to go. That's a long 2.5. It's a great time for play action pass.
They use the extra fullback. Holman is wrapped up beautifully. Jason Lewis, a sophomore strong safety from Lanham, Maryland, coming across to get it done.
He's getting his first playing time this year. He really hadn't been in their defensive scheme. Makes a nice play. See, now 3rd and 4 is really a long passing situation down in the goal line. The defenders don't have to back up. They'll lock on, play tight. A changeup would be a zone coverage.
Michigan State waits until 3rd down, and diving, but a penalty flag is thrown in the end zone. Jay Green, the tight end, the receiver, and the penalty called on the Buckeyes in the end zone.
See, they're trying to sneak the tight end back out the backside with action away. See, that would have been a better play on 2nd down, because see, now the linebackers in every 3rd and 4 down there, they're thinking pass. I've got my pass responsibility. See the strong fake? He gets a little pressure on him coming here from the right, but he does get it out there. Now, right at the bottom of your screen. Does not show pass interference there.
Well, Williams may have been face guarding on that play. That was the reason why it was called against Cooper and the Buckeyes. He had his arms extended, and unfortunately for Williams, the fade pass was not thrown to the corner where the receiver would have been running away from the linebacker. Instead, it was a little short, and it made the face guard a somewhat easy call down there. Now motioned by one of the fullbacks, and Holman won't get it. That was a 1st and goal on the penalty in the end zone. So now it is 2nd and goal. Styles and the Buckeyes trying to stage a goal line stand, the kind that the Wolverines of Michigan did earlier today against Penn State. George Perlis is just exasperated about the inability of this team to get the ball into the end zone against Ohio State, which has not yet yielded a rushing touchdown. Second and goal.
There he
Touchdown!
goes. First one this year.
Steve Holman with the first rushing touchdown of the season against Ohio State.
I think they're going to go for 2. No, they're going for 1. Just a strong lead play. Fullback right there, Abrams, another back up in front. 2 lead backs get the ball to the big backup deep in there and just hit the crack.
This an important moment for Stoyanovich to regain his confidence. It wobbled, but it was good. Oh, the young man they affectionately call Batman pounds in with the rushing touchdown. Let's take a look at some more shows coming your way on ABC. Tuesday on ABC, the Los Angeles Raiders are back in the hunt. Now they have a mile-high meeting with quarterback John Elway and their division rivals, the Denver Broncos, Monday Night Live at 9 Eastern Time, right here on ABC. Ohio State leading Michigan State 14-10 with 7:46 to go in an entertaining first half here in Columbus, Ohio. In fact, the Big Ten as a conference has been entertaining this year, much more so than in recent past. Stoyanovich with the ball on the tee will kick it off. Lenode and Terry Glenn back deep for the Bucks. Short kickoff. And a fair catch at the 30-yard line by Cedric Saunders.
They're doing that on purpose. They're doing that on purpose so they don't have to defend the kickoff return. Now, Ohio State came in here 4th best kickoff return team in the country, and that's why they're doing it.
Bobby Hoying returns as the Buckeye quarterback.
They got to get their running game going, Brent. I can see why Coach Cooper said he was concerned about his running game over the past 2 weeks. They really haven't run the ball efficiently at all. They've gotten the big plays, and that can be disillusioning to you as you evaluate your first half of offense.
Raymond Harris returns as the tailback. And Hoying with a defender in pursuit hits Galloway for a 5-yard gain. He's out at the 35-yard line.
That's a repeat of the very first play of the game. The action away, then come back and throw it out there. Quarterback unprotected. This time they defensed it properly. Just didn't get to him quick enough to prevent the throw. You know, I sat into the quarterback meetings the other day with Coach Ron Hudson and his quarterbacks and listened to him go through all the game plan with these guys, and boy, are they well coached. Talk about a classroom learning situation.
George Perlis's famous stunt 4-3. And Raymond Harris short of the first down into the middle of that defense, and Rich Glover, number 55. This will leave the Bucks needing, well, the officials are going to find out just for sure, but it looks from up here like they need still a better part of a yard.
See, you don't see the stunt 4-3 defense very often anymore, Brent. There other colleges played it for a while, but now they've changed their defenses, and you have to prepare specifically to run the ball against this 4-3 defense because they're stunning all the time inside. There's only one inside linebacker, but there's 2 down linemen in there stunning all the time, and it gives you problems. Like Michigan couldn't handle it last week. They couldn't handle it, and that's why they didn't run the ball well.
I got problems with these glasses. That was the first half. Chris Sanders brings the play in for the Buckeye sideline. 7:14 to go here in the first half. Buckeyes up by 4. Michigan State has missed 2 field goals here earlier in the first half. Hoying, 3-step drop. Galloway incomplete.
Has to make that catch. He has to make that catch. He knows it. He's mad. That was thrown right where it had to be thrown. Right on rhythm. Good action. Right up inside the corner. Has to make that catch. Keep your hands on eyes on the ball. Thumbs together. See, now, to the right side of your screen. See, good timing. The ball's right where it has to be. Now, get your hands together. See, you should take that thumbs together. See, Brandy had his hands, little fingers together. Thumbs together, you make that play. How do you like that, huh?
Well, we can't be too critical. He scored a couple of touchdowns.
He's only a youngster. Only a youngster.
64 yards. He walked into the end zone. 2nd and 10. Harris trying to get turned upfield, and the defense being led by Kenny Allen, number 23, and there is the head of the music man over there, huh?
Yeah, the big tight end. That whole offensive line. Someone told me that the athletic dorm, they don't have bedrooms for them, they have stalls. You know, they just move in and out of their stalls. They're all over 300 pounds.
3rd down, 7 yards for the Bucks. Throws complete for it to the 42-yard line, and Buster Tillman.
See, that was an audible. They saw the man-to-man coverage and ran a specific pattern by game plan designed to handle the man-to-man. You'll see it right here. Now, see these 2 guys close together? Now, you'll see the receiver come up, and he'll come underneath and rub off and gun underneath there and catch it in that hole. Here he goes now. See him now. Watch him rub off. Watch him. See him now. It's time to bump right there. Got him bumped right there. That gave him that cushion, that freedom. Everybody else playing man-to-man except the free safety. Cushion for the first down. Good design. Good coaching.
At the left part of your screen, you may have seen number 29, Stan Callender, go down at the back end of that play, and he is the injured Spartan on that far side right now. Callender, one of their starting cornerbacks.
He's from Fayetteville, North Carolina, Brent. Went to E.E. Smith High School.
Suffered a knee injury as he went down. Being helped off to the Michigan State sideline.
He played awfully well against Michigan last week and was playing well today. Well, that means Howard Triplett, I think number 11, will play. Yes, he comes in the ball game to back him up. But that hurts your nickel defenses now. That changes you. Do you have another guy that can come in? The other thing it does, can we play man-to-man without him in there?
First down, Buckeyes. Oops. And Allen coming across the line. And Michigan State insisting that they were pulled off that time.
Yeah, Keeney Allen was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week last week. 3 tackles and 2 sacks against Michigan.
Dead ball, offsides, defense, 5 yards, still first down.
But it's 1st and 5 as the result of that penalty.
Coach Cooper shows his concern. He really, from an assistant coaching standpoint, he's great to coach for because he really allows his coaches to coach. They're deeply involved in everything that goes on.
And the ball at the Spartans 37. And it's the fullback who is stacked up at the 35. Cawthron not finding much daylight.
Trying to come off beside that big offensive line on the left side with Jason Winrow at left guard.
Now it's 2nd and 2. Ohio State indicating they want the muscle game to run the clock down here in the first half. Harris. That's going to be close for the first down as Keeney Allen, number 23, wraps him up.
The problem with that defense is they stun it all the time, and I'll try to show that to you right here. They'll tilt one tackle in one direction. Now, they don't always go the same way. Now, watch this tackle here come down, and this tackle, Keeney Allen, go on around behind. Tough to pick that up consistently because you don't see it all the time. That's good. See, Ohio State is trying to treat him as a backside linebacker flowing into the play, and they're coached to look for him all the time.
Dick, I've been wondering, and let's bring in Jack Arute. Jack, why does Allen wear number 23?
Well, that's really not the number you would think that someone in his position would play, but he lobbied for the number 23 simply because his childhood hero was the just recently retired Michael Jordan.
Well, 23 didn't get it done that time, unfortunately, for Allen and the number 23. As Benote, who leads the college football world in apostrophes, gets to the left and inside the 25-yard line.
He showed his speed that time and a little move that he froze the defender. He had good pursuit angle, doing just like he was coached to do, and then he froze him just a little bit and then turned on that speed. He's the Big Ten 55-meter indoor sprint champion, so he has that kind of speed.
Then nicked up a little bit. You'd wonder how fast he'd run the 40 right now, but fast enough, huh? 2nd and 2 for the Bucks. 4:28, muscling away at the clock. Harris and Cawthron are the Buck running backs. Harris into the middle, carried a defender to the 20 for a first down. Allen hanging on, got bowled over by the hard-running Raymond Harris. Now here's an efficient senior running back. Not spectacular. Carried 30 times last week in Champaign. Doesn't make any mistakes with the wind blowing over there. And they did not have Benote. They didn't want to use the sophomore Eddie George, so they kept calling Harris's number.
35. Holy mackerel. Whew, the Bruins and Huskies are playing a tough one.
1st and 10. Fake by Hoyne. Steps up and hits Harris. He was wide open after the fake. They let him free off the play fake, and he stood there. First down at the 6.
Good presence of mind. Good presence of mind by Bobby Hoying. See, that was a check down. He faked to the tailback. See, the linebackers read the play action. 34 in the middle of your screen. See, they're going to fake to him. Quarterback will reverse pivot. He'll fake. Now he'll pause just for a second, check down, and you'll see Reggie Garnett, 22, buzzing out of there right here, and he just settles down right there. Good job of reading what the linebacker did, taking what they give you.
And injured Spartan, but let's talk about number 22 because that was a mistake by a freshman middle linebacker, something that he will pick up as time goes on. Steve Wasilic, the free safety, shaken up. Boy, but Garnett is their middle man, and he's the key man in this defensive lineman.
He has improved so much. If there was the most improved defensive player that I've seen so far this year, Brent, I would say it's him. Watching him play the last week against Michigan, and in preparation of the Michigan game, I had my concerns about him, a true freshman playing in there against the likes of Michigan. But by the end of the game, I saw why they were playing him in there. Very smart guy. He's a pre-engineering student. He learns quickly.
I think Tyrone Wheatley would tell you he's not bad.
Not too bad. And he can run, too.
First down. Fake, and Hoyne falls at the 14-yard line. He slipped with Matt Christensen closing in, and he couldn't get footing, and down went the Buckeye quarterback.
I do think that was a good call on first down, though. The play action passing, they're running the ball, they're checking it down off play action, that kind of. You get inside there. That's what I learned from Sid Gilman. He said, Dick, when you get inside the 20-yard line, you got a 1st and 10 situation. Go for it on 1st and 10. Other passing downs are much tougher.
Well, the other thing that would encourage you to pass down there is the fact that there are 2 substitutions in that secondary.
Right.
Michigan State without its free safety Wasilic and without the injured Calendar at that one corner. Touchdown, Galloway again, his 3rd of the day.
That's like stealing.
When you have a splendid performer like Joey Galloway, the key thing is just get him the football.
Take a bow, Joey. That's your 3rd one today. Attaboy. Hi, Mom.
7 for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. Joey Galloway having a big-time day, and so are the Buckeyes, leading 21-10.
Brent, by using that formation and that form of motion in game planning, in studying Michigan State, that type of formation and motion would predict a zone defense in any part of the field. And that's what happened. They got a zone down inside there. That makes it very easy to throw, or easier to throw that slant pattern. They executed perfectly. But that's all part of preparation.
Who has the best band in the Big Ten? Is it Ohio State? Is it Michigan? I was pretty impressed with Michigan State last week, to tell you the truth. I like the way they come on the field. These bands don't get enough credit.
You know, Galloway keeps scoring touchdowns.
You didn't hear me.
I heard you. The band. I'm talking football, man.
Come on, it's the bands in the Midwest.
Tuba. They had 6-0. But in talking to Galloway yesterday, he had forgotten that he scored 2 touchdowns running. He gave me his touchdowns passing, but he had forgotten all about it. I told him, he said, did I score 2 running? When?
From the 1-yard line. 15. And down there, and Calendar has been lost with a sprained knee and a pulled hamstring. So Howard Triplett, the sophomore who had some difficulty handling Galloway in the end zone, will have to see what he can do here the rest of the way.
See, now what that does to Norm Parker, the defensive coordinator, Brent, is it takes you out of some of your game plan, because now you're minus a guy that was a good man-to-man coverage guy. You came in prepared to play man-to-man coverage, and you lose him. That makes it tough.
Now Miller throwing to the fullback to the 25-yard line on first down. That was Bryce Abrams. So here's one for you. If you're a golfer, and there are some great ones here in the Columbus area, but 18 legendary holes from 18 of the greatest courses in America. Join John Daly, Tom Kite, Fuzzy Zeller, and Davis Love for an unprecedented round of golf. The Chrysler American Grade 18. That should be fun, huh? Tomorrow at 4. Gotta believe there are a couple from this area. First down, Thomas.
Well, they ran right at Big Daddy that time and got up underneath him. That's tough to do unless you trap him. They didn't trap him. Come on, Big Daddy. You're not supposed to let that happen.
Big Daddy is not having an All-American type week. He stood up Jack Arute on an interview yesterday. He was a little bit late for his appointment. He's been getting a lot of attention, Big Daddy has, and, you know, sometimes that affects you a little bit.
I hope it doesn't.
First and 10. Now a play fake by Miller. Complete to the tight end out at the 35-yard line. Bob Organ. Wild and woolly down at Auburn. 35 all. Florida under the gun.
Nobody throws the ball in college football any better than Spurrier. You know, he starts the season, he doesn't know who his quarterback is, finds out who he is later on, and now they're scoring 35 points against an undefeated team. Good coaching.
Second and 7.
Brent, your golf partner just walked in here, old Mr. Snap.
Steve Snap.
Yeah.
The Buckeye publicity office does a fine job, as do all of them around the conference and the country. Give us a lot of help. Miller back. Gonna run for it. Tries to get the first down. Short of it. Pushed out of bounds at the 41-yard line by Timmy Walton.
Not known for his running ability, but that was good presence of mind. Zone coverage, had everybody covered. Saw that big gap, said I'll make it a second and shorter situation, or third and shorter situation. Miller has a nice, quick delivery, Brent. Really does, and he's a two-time academic All-Big Ten guy, so you know he has the brains to go along with that nice delivery to make it in the NFL.
Miller with a short drop. First down, Michigan State at the 48-yard line. Milcombe, the receiver.
This was Morris Watts, the coordinator, does such a good job, Brent. That's why the offense is so efficient in throwing. They just try to get what they need for the first down. That's why they're 67% complete.
It's 21-10. Michigan State trying to get something going here at the end of the half. And, of course, coming up on the Prudential halftime report, John Saunders will have scores and highlights from all of today's action, including a look back at that win by Michigan over Penn State. That surprised a lot of you, didn't it? First and 10. Miller gets hit. Releases to the running back, Scott Green, one of the fullbacks. Michigan State employed the fullbacks as receivers very well last week in that win over the Wolverines.
Miller does a real good job of relocating the rest of the receivers in the pattern. He sees the number one thought that he had in mind of where he was going is covered. He moves off him, moves around, and gets that efficient ball downfield.
Thomas busts outside, just short of the first down. Chico Nelson, the hard-hitting, strong safety, coming up.
And that was a good tackle because he prevented the first down right there by just good fundamental tackling technique.
That's Mark Williams bending over there. There's Chico. He was a free safety a year ago, switched to strong this year, one of the harder hitters in the conference. He'll unload on you if you come into his neighborhood.
He's one of the 4 seniors in that defense, Brett. And you know, he missed half the year last year with an injury, but he doesn't show any effects right now.
Leg problem, perhaps. Williams coming over to join the defensive huddle over here. He's slow and joined in, a little bit shaken up, and waves a trainer away. And there is Powell. Well, the Big Ten. What a surprise, huh? Wisconsin, unbeaten. They will host these Buckeyes a couple of weeks down the road over in Madison. That's going to be a big one here in the conference. You really wonder if anyone will go unbeaten in the Big Ten this year.
It's going to be tough to go unbeaten.
You bet.
It really is. That's Morris Watts up there to the left of your screen.
Well, it's a 3rd and 1 with 32 seconds. Galloway has been the big play man for Ohio State all season, and certainly today. 7 catches, 160 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Won a 64-yarder.
They have been a good screen team, Brent, in these situations, because you're not really thinking so much 1 yard for the first down in your offensive call here. You'd like to get a little more out of it.
Movement, but the center didn't snap it, or he had his first down.
They're using a long cadence on him.
Yeah, he had the defender trapped, but they get it anyway. Green, the receiver again, to the 34-yard line and 25 seconds.
Against zone coverages, Brent, you can throw this little nickel and dime stuff all day. The trouble is you don't advance the ball very quickly, but it is efficient. 25 seconds, 1 timeout left.
Miller,
Big Daddy.
complete again, And the clock will stop on the first down. They get to the 19-yard line.
See, they're already in real good field goal position right now. They have enough time.
Excuse me?
Excuse me. Well, Auburn 38.
Speaking of field goals.
Speaking of field goals.
They kicked one. Michigan State, 1 of 3. 17 seconds. All right, Dick. How many plays can you afford to try to throw it into the end zone? You're not going to be given much time by this defensive line, as we've seen.
I think you can go 2. I think you can go 2 plays, Brent. You have 1 timeout. Incomplete. First one would incomplete. If it's complete, you probably have to call a timeout and use it. But you'd like to keep that 1 timeout for the end to kick the field goal if the clock is running.
Only 2 wide receivers. They'll keep their tight end. He will slip out. Here's Miller. Incomplete. So there's the first one in 10 seconds showing. Now you say go ahead and throw again and then kick.
Yeah, you can go more. See, that took 7 seconds. So they have 10. They can throw it, and they have a timeout. See, they were in a double zone, a man short and a man deep, and it's a low percentage throw. They were trying to get in behind the rolled up corner. The ball was thrown just a little high. You know, the other thing that influences your decision in doing these things offensively, Brent, is your field goal kicker. You know what I mean? How's he kicking the ball? I better take one more shot.
You know, it's starting to rain a little bit here in Columbus. Miller. They got to stop the clock right now. They're at the 3-yard line with 4 seconds. They get it stopped at 3. Outlaw the receiver. Okay, Dick, what do you do now?
You kick it. You got it right in the middle of the field. Geez, you give me these tough things to answer to there, Musburger.
You're the coach.
Yeah. Here's Coach Perlis.
Jack Arute, what's been Stojanovich's problems here today?
Well, Brett, according to the coaches, he's concentrating too much on his footage and not on concentrating on getting it through the uprights. He was out here earlier in pregame warmups, and he saw that the footing wasn't to his liking. So when he plants his foot to take the step, he's a little uncertain. They've been trying to talk him into just go back to what you do during practice. So far, it's been a head game for Stoyanovich. It's a worse head game right now when you're this close to needing a score.
Yeah, you know, Jack, and that's not an alibi. We should have remembered earlier, he kicks at home on an artificial surface, and that is really different when you come to grass sometimes with a kicker. There is absolutely no question it can throw him off, and that...
Especially if it's wet. Especially if it's wet. I saw him kick a 59-yard field goal on the practice field off the AstroTurf. So he has a good leg.
His brother kicks the National Football League for Miami. It's a family that has overcome a personal tragedy. 2 fine young men, and Stoyanovich will go again. 1 of 3 here in the first half. A 20-yarder to end the first half. No good.
He may not have gotten a real good hold on that one. Boy, is that deflating.
Wow. Let's take a look at this hold. It's Chris Solani. He's the punter. The punter does the holding. Keep an eye on it.
It's a bad snap.
The snap was down, and Solani couldn't give him the best hold. 21-10, halftime. Leading at the half, 21-10 is the score, and Joey Galloway has been the big man for the Buckeyes. He scored all 3 of their touchdowns. He's caught 7 for 160 yards. His second one, well, it was the 64-yarder thrown by his sophomore quarterback, Bobby Hoyne, who is also having a career day here throwing against this Spartan defense. As far as Michigan State is concerned, the story is kicking or the lack of it. Bill Stoyanovich hit a 47-yarder, then missed a 34-yarder, a 33-yarder, and a 20-yarder. And those 3 points that he missed each of the 3 occasions critical. So here we are ready to start the second half with Dick Vermeil. I'm Brett Musburger. Dick, what would you do with Stoyanovich right now?
Well, I'd do what George did. Bring him out at halftime and kick right over the band and around the band. Practice some field goal kicking. And he hit the ball pretty well down there. Of course, there was no rush, no pressure or anything. But he did a good job of kicking.
Somewhat surprised his teammates didn't rush him when they were coming out there.
The other thing you got to do is taper an aspirin on his helmet. That really helps kickers. It really does. Normally works.
Well, here he is. And Michigan State set to receive with Derek Mason and Steve Holman back deep. Jack Arute, that was something watching Stoyanovich practice with the band still out there.
And that was at the direction, as Vermeil said, of head coach George Perlis. I talked to him as they came out. I said, what are you going to change? He says, Jack, we can't leave points on the field like we did. I said, what about Stoyanovich? How do you instill confidence in him? He said, I grabbed him at halftime. I said, get your butt out there, start kicking, and just keep kicking till it goes through the uprights.
Good job, Jack. George can get a little colorful in talking to his athletes. There's the kick. Well, there's no way to misunderstand him.
No, certainly not that. This is Holman.
He's strong.
Holman busts free. Out to the 31-yard line. He certainly has been the most impressive Spartan here so far as we take a look at the numbers from the first half, Coach.
You know, everything's really pretty even, Brent, except the score. Time and possession actually in favor of Michigan State. Turnovers more on the Ohio State side. Running game pretty even. Passing game pretty even. But no big plays for Michigan State. They've got to come up with a big play.
Craig Thomas, the running back. 3 wide receivers. Miller searching for a big play on first down, and he settles with a completion to the 35-yard line. Coleman's knee was down, so it's whistled dead on the completion there at the 35-yard line. First half possessions for Michigan State.
Own 14, 3 plays, but see, they had the 10 play, the 5 play, 5 play, 7 play, 12 play. They should have more than 10 points on the board, obviously.
Perlis hoping to saddle up Steve Holman, number 41. Gets the call. First down, running brilliantly for the Spartans to the 44-yard line, and Chico Nelson, a strong safety there defensively.
That's what happens, Brent, when you commit a linebacker inside and he doesn't get to where the ball carrier's gone. Now, you'll see him rushing up inside. The ball carrier hits over here. Takes himself out of this on this stunt right here. That's Greg Powell, number 84, getting up in there. See? Didn't hit that running lane.
And again, Bryce Abrams, the fullback, leading through to take a linebacker on. And he did it successfully that time. First down again for the Spartans. They fake the draw. Miller throws underneath using the tight end to the Buckeye 49-yard line. Bob Organ, who's having a fine day as a receiver from that tight end spot. 5 catches for 40 yards.
See, Brent, they throw the ball short very well, you know, but right now, in average per pass attempt, Michigan State 8.6, Ohio State 12.6. See, they're getting some bigger plays. And that's what they're going to have to get to catch up in this football game.
Well, for Perlis, Mill Coleman is a big play kind of guy. Number 6, if they can get him going. Napoleon Outlaw, Najee Carter, the freshman. And that fumble! The quarterback goes for it and recovered, I believe. Yes, he did for the Spartans. Miller.
Boy, there was a scramble for that ball, but it was amazing to see how quickly that big 300-pound guy, Wilkinson, could move to the football, but the quarterback beat him there. Here's Daddy. Look at the size of that guy. Here he is in the middle of your screen, number 72, right here. See, now the ball's going away. It ends up on the turf. Now watch this guy move. He sees it. Now watch him spurt.
I'll tell you, the quarterback recovered it, but he took a lick from Big Daddy right there.
You bet he did.
Third and 12 for the Spartans. Miller needs to throw it and can't. Wrapped up on the sprint to the outside. Matt Finks, backup nose guard, just a freshman, was there along with Mark Williams, number 51. And they get the job done.
He initially had time to throw the football, but good coverage downfield. Then the protection broke down. See, they're taking him on short now letting him go, and they're going down into the zone. See the square in pattern there, the zone. There's coverage underneath Coleman right there. See him, the red jersey right there? He couldn't throw it over his head.
the Buckeyes shaken up on the play. Chris Solani, meanwhile, has trotted onto the field to punt. And remember that Michigan successfully blocked a punt. He was a little bit late, according to Coach Perlis, in getting the ball into the air. And the Buckeyes have been successful through the years in blocking punts. They were able to score a touchdown against Illinois when they busted Paul free right up the middle on a punt. There was a fumble in the end zone. Buckeyes recovered it for a touchdown. So don't be surprised if Ohio State comes hard off the wings here.
And Cooper told us yesterday, when he calls a punt rush, he doesn't care. I mean, he doesn't worry the guys about roughing the kicker. It's my responsibility. If I call it, you go get it. If you run into him,
they win. And they did run into him, and there's the penalty.
Great punt. It's only a 5-yard penalty, though. That won't be a first down. They only ran into him. They didn't knock him down.
Solani says, doesn't matter, Coach.
It still hurts.
Watch.
Here's Solani.
This is Dick Vermeil. He's in love with kickers of all kinds, folks.
No,
he thinks it's okay to abuse any kicker.
No, you see, they just sort of nudge him.
Oh, yeah,
They won't call that.
Hey, you could break his leg doing that.
Yeah, I know it, but they still won't call that 15 in the first down. That'll be 5-yard. But that was a beautiful punt. They may consider not taking the penalty. Look at George. Look at George. You know, I teased George a little bit about putting on some extra weight. He says, no, that's just thick skin. He's upset. And that's a good call. And it was a good decision to decline it.
So it'll be the Buckeyes ball when we come back. 21-10.
Ohio State.
Rival Michigan, Fresno State tackles BYU, or key games in the South and Pac-10. All next Saturday on ABC Sports.
It's been a busy day for that young man. That's Teak, School of Communications Advertising. George has had that headset off and on, and Teak's had to scramble around and keep it. Make sure there's enough slack in the cable. Best we've seen in the Big Ten this year. Now it's Bobby Hoyne. First down. Here's the hand to Raymond Harris.
He's going to make your all-league court team, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All Big Ten.
No question. He makes my team.
Ohio State's first half possessions. Look at the touchdowns and the number of plays. Yes, 6 plays, 33 yards, 1 touchdown. 2 plays touchdown, then the long drive, 12 plays touchdown.
Hey, you know what our spotter Jimmy Tubbs wants? He wants that World League microphone so we can hear George Perlis.
No,
so he wants to get us all in trouble.
we would get in trouble.
That's what happens when you listen to Howard Stern in the mornings, Tubbs. All right, Butler Bernodi checks into the backfield. Second down. Hoyne, Flair, Bernodi. Oh, slipping and sliding, and then picked his way neatly. That's very close to a first down.
Butler Bernodi didn't allow his screen blockers to get out there. That's an option screen. The quarterback can throw the ball downfield if it's there. If it's not there, he lays it off. And Dave Mono, number 77, got out there, but Butler took off a little too soon. Now follow right here to the right side of your screen. See, he's starting upfield right to freeze it. See, if he would have waited just a second longer, he would have had a nice running lane.
George Hill, the chairman of the numbers, says first down. First and 10.
8-man front.
In the round. Fake. Hoyne down the middle. Incomplete. They fake the end around to Galloway, and Hoyne goes downfield, and Wasilic, not fooled, he stays right with Chris Sanders.
Excellent safety play by Steve Wasilic, because they ran a nice strong reverse and fake there, Brent, and plus they were coming with 8 people up there, and they were playing zone behind it. Now you see Wasilic right there to the bottom of your screen, number 37. See that strong fake in there? Now, most of the time the offensive people will even yell reverse, try to get the attention. But you saw Yakini Allen come in and hit the quarterback, and the safety play this as it should be played.
That's why the young man should be a Rhodes Scholar. He doesn't get fooled. Wasilic. Smart young man out of Michigan State. Second and 10. Now Hoyne off a fake. Fires complete. for a first down midfield. Buster Tillman. John Saunders, how did that Florida-Auburn game finally wind up, partner?
The race in the SEC East just got even more interesting. This is Scott Etheridge from 41 yards with 1:21 left as Auburn knocks Florida from the ranks of the unbeaten. So if Tennessee can knock off Alabama, they're going to be tied. Meanwhile, the Bowdens, Florida State is leading Virginia right now. They are perfect combined, 13-0. Brent, back to you.
What a day for Ann Bowden. She didn't know which game to go to. Watch husband or son. Great day for the Bowdens. Roy Hoyne intercepted. Picked off by Reggie Garnett, the middle linebacker.
That's Reggie's first interception in his career, but I really think the interception was forced by Akini Allen, the defensive tackle that got in Hoying's face and forced him to throw that quickly. You'll see Hoying coming from the right side of your screen. You see right in his face, and Garnett getting underneath that, learning how to read play action and getting back into his zone. Good improvement.
That's the third turnover for the Buckeyes today. 2 fumbles and now an interception. Craig Thomas checks in. Thomas found the left end to the 44-yard line. Chico Nelson again there defensively.
There's Bobby Hoying. He's talking now to Ron Hudson, the quarterback coach, in the press box. And I think what Ron is saying to him, you know, there was no need to force that kind of throw. You were under pressure, and we have an 11-point lead.
You know, we talked about with Sillick, who's a engineering student, Rhodes Scholar candidate. Garnett is in the School of Engineering, too. Bright young man.
Oh, nice tackle.
Great defense against Holman that time. Stopped him short of the first down.
Boy, that was picture-perfect tackling. Fred Pugic, who coaches the linebacker, would really be pleased by watching this one. Now, you'll see him here to the left side of your screen. Here he is right here. Watch him move properly, keep his shoulders square. See him keep his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, and boom, right up in there. Hips down, shoulder pads up. Nice job.
Third down, 2 yards to go. There's the first down. You know what they needed in that secondary that time was Jack Tatum. Jack Arute, is he in the house?
He certainly is, and he's right next to me. A pair of Jacks for you, Brent. But, Jack, you're here part of the 25th anniversary of the last nationally ranked team, #1 team from Ohio State and from the Big Ten.
Yeah, we've been back here, and we're having a great weekend. Most of all the guys from that team made it back, and it's been wonderful.
When you take a look, let's talk about this in a second. Let's watch the play.
All right, we'll come right back to you, Jack. Complete to the fullback, and he battles for a Michigan State first down at the 38. All right, Jack, back to you.
Jack, compare the way defense was played in your day and the way defense is played now. We hear so much talk about speed in the 90s.
Well, you know, teams now probably have a little more speed than we had. We basically relied on a lot of quickness, and I think we were probably a little better tacklers, but these guys probably have a lot more speed.
One more after this.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Spartans. And it is Holman. This time did not slip free from Chico Nelson. Jack Arute.
Can't let you get away without asking your impressions of Big Daddy. Can he play on Sundays now?
Big Daddy's ready to play. I think he's probably going to be ready to play in a year or so, but I think there's going to be a lot of teams looking for him when he gets ready to come out.
Will you try and talk him into staying?
I'd like to see him stay, but, you know, when they put the big money up there, you got to go.
Brett, this is truly one of the great guys in football, both in college and in the pros.
He sure was one of the best we ever saw in that secondary, Coach.
Talk about hitting you.
2nd and 9. Another completion to the 29-yard line, and this Bob Organ is standing up, and he's being counted today, isn't he? That's his 6th reception, I believe.
He had 7 coming into the ball game, and you know, not really known as a nifty receiver at 6'3", 265, but he reads the zones real well. He knows where the linebackers are and how they're buzzing, and he just works opposite them, and he's really in sync with Miller right now. They do a good job of coaching that whole scheme of possession passing.
Hey, Dick, you might say he's an organ grinder.
Yeah, I think you've said that one before, haven't you?
No. Put down. Holman, fumble. He was down, and he looked to be a little bit short of the first down, depending on where they spot this ball. John Saunders, what do you got for us on Tennessee, Alabama?
Well, Brent, the Volunteers are driving, going in for the score. Heath Schuler with a pitch to James Stewart, but he fumbles the ball. Alabama recovers. Right now, the Vols still lead it by 1. Brent, back to you.
John, here it's 21-10. The Spartans on the move as the chains are being brought out for the measurement here across the field. Fourth and that much.
They'll go for that one, no question. Brent, I really think offensively, they're moving the ball efficiently right now, but if they're going to get a good big play, they've got to get the ball in Milt Coleman's hands. He's touched the ball 1 time, and he is their big play receiver. They've got to get it in his hands.
So here's the 4th down. Scott Green and Bryce Abrams are in the backfield along with Holman. It's their goal line look. Holman, I'm not sure he got it. He was met at the point of attack by Lorenzo Stiles.
The line judge is indicating by spot, Brent, that they got it.
Officials timeout right now.
Unless he moves away. Hey. That was a great tackle.
I didn't think he got it on the stop, but let's see where they spotted.
The line judge on the sideline came running in and put his foot down on the spot, but they didn't put the ball down exactly where he was lined up.
Ohio State ball.
Great defensive play. And an excellent fundamental tackle. Good penetration by the defense right there. Big Daddy up over the top. There's the linebacker right there. I still don't see. Oh, that's Stiles, number 90. Good job.
21-10, 7:17 left. Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And the 25th anniversary diamond for a brilliant celebration of your loving marriage. Speaking of 25th anniversaries, 1968, the Buckeyes of Ohio State, unbeaten and declared national champions, leading George Perlis and Michigan State 21-10 here. Raymond Harris is the tailback. Harris, big hole. Well, this is a rough day for the top 10. Alabama losing. Florida and Penn State both have already lost. And Oklahoma is losing right now. A huge shakeup and a chance for the Buckeyes of Ohio State to jump up to 2nd or 3rd, depending on what Notre Dame does later today against BYU. This could be a huge day for the Bucks. Harris, right side, slams for a first down to the 40, and Garnett is there defensively.
Great. Big Jason Winrow, the offensive left guard, pulled around on that, Brent, and instead of kicking the linebacker out who had closed, he hooked him and allowed the running back to jump outside. That's good mobility for a 315-pounder. Now watch the big guard as he pulls around here. Instead of kicking him out, he hooks him inside and the ball bounces outside. Now this guy is 310 pounds. See him hook him right there, then ricochets off. There's the first down. I talked to Winrow the other day, and I said, Jason, how you doing on your weight? He says, I've lost 10 pounds since the season started. He's trying to get down to around 300.
Jason Winrow, Bridgeton, New Jersey.
He'll play on Sunday for a long time.
Won't they all? Klein, Winrow, Thrush, Mano, Stringer. What an offensive front. Ooh. Well, it's one way to beat him. All right, now the officials will move in quickly. And the one thing that you do not see, players from the two sidelines rushing onto the field. The officials were able to break it up as quickly as it flared, and no one rushed from the Ohio State or the Michigan State sideline to join in.
Juan Hammonds must have got upset to the fact that Corey Stringer, when he knocked him over backwards, jumped up and asked for some applause from the audience. It humiliated Juan.
And immediately when that happened, we saw the Buckeye coaching staff move in front of that sideline and seal up that bench. John Cooper was talking about that to us the other day, and he said that's the key thing. The officials can take care of the players on the field. We can't let anybody join in from the sidelines. And George Perlis and his staff did the same.
Dead
Ricardo
ball.
Jackson.
Offsides against the defense, 5 yards. Also, dead ball, personal foul, the defense, 15 yards, first down.
See, that's stupid football. The defensive team is working very hard to prevent him to make 1 yard, and then one individual give him 15 yards. That's how you mature in defensive football, is learn how to handle your emotion and direct it toward your intensity to win.
So the Buckeyes go from their own 40 to Michigan State's 40, and we want to take another look at this replay right now, because first there was the offside penalty right there. Now the lineman Saunders gets into it, and there's a personal foul call in the middle of that against the Spartans.
Like to bring in a corner blitz. Here he is coming off the backside.
Harris, left side, close to a first down. John Saunders, how about the Bruins against Washington?
Well, Brent, the Bruins have hooked up Wayne Cook and J.J. Stokes 3 times for touchdowns in this game. Watch him keep his balance. Then Stokes to the end zone, 22 yards. They now lead Washington 21-18. Meantime, Tennessee has just scored a touchdown. 17-9 now. They lead last year's national champions. Back to you, Brent. We'll keep you updated.
All right, John. So some big happenings. This shaped up as the most important Saturday of the college football season. There were some great matchups scheduled earlier today. Michigan going into Penn State and upsetting the Nittany Lions. And right now, the officials are trying to calm everybody down. They're sending the players over to the sidelines, and they're going to speak to both coaches, and they're going to warn them right now, just to get the tempers settled down, get everybody under control. And this is the way to get control, get the players over there and talk to the coaches right now. Tempers running a little high, already flared just a bit here in Columbus. So, well, the officials and the coaches continue their discussions. We'll take a break and come right back. Ohio Stadium, and there top guarding this crowd of 90,000, the lone sentry, standing watch. 2nd and inches now for the Buckeyes. He's got a view from the end zone, and the fullback Cothran bangs for the first down. Jackaroot.
Well, Brent, you were talking about the lone sentry. Believe it or not, I've made my way up here.
What?
Hey, what are you doing up here?
Watching the game.
Is it a good game?
It's a good game.
Well, it doesn't look like you'd have much fun here, though. Looks like ants down there on the field.
No, not really.
Well, hey, listen, I felt bad for you. Here's a hot dog.
Thank you very much, sir.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You do the same.
Hey, Brent, what can I say?
Well, Jack, Dick Vermeil may have wound up with a rather hard-nosed policeman trying to get into the stadium.
Hey,
I'll get into that in a moment here. 1st and 10. Ball is down. Michigan State's recovered. Glover comes out with the football. Another turnover for the Bucks. That's their 4th.
Brant Hoying put the ball in the fullback's stomach, Jeff Cothran, and it evidently didn't get planted. There's some confusion there, and they mishandled the play. They're -4. To be ahead 21-10 and -4 is amazing. See it now. He just reaches in there and puts it in there. He gave him the football. It looks like maybe they were going ahead and try to run a read option play, and Cothran thought he was going to take it out of his stomach.
Well, Dick, you know, we go back with Michigan State. They scored their 17 points in that upset of Michigan with their first 3 possessions and didn't score for the rest of the game. They've got only 10 points here today. Searching for that big play. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 right now. And, of course, a reminder, at the conclusion of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team. And for the 23rd year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. So Dick, that policeman said that riffraff like you caused problems and he wouldn't let you in the parking lot.
Well, it was my chauffeur's problem, our able buddy right here in the bit.
I'm glad I was there to bail you out of trouble.
He didn't want me to do the game.
2nd down, and he thought you were a Spartan fan. 2nd and 10 now. Miller pulling out. Underneath cover. And Stiles is there with Williams, and they pound all over Coleman.
I'll tell you, give that receiver credit. Did Mike Williams tattoo him? Wow, that hurt. You can hear it all the way up here. You'll see him turn back to the inside. That's Milt Coleman, number 6. See that? Now watch it. Wham, right there. Then wham, right behind him. He isn't very big, just real bright.
That's a little linebacker sandwich. 3rd and 3. Miller steps away from the pressure, still waits. Now throws for the 1st down. Now we'd like to pause 5 seconds to allow our ABC stations to identify themselves. With Dick Vermeil and Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger. Columbus, Ohio. The unbeaten Buckeyes lead the Spartans of Michigan State 21-10. Joey Galloway with all 3 of the Buckeye touchdowns. Milt Coleman with a 1st down for the Spartans, and the ball is out on their 40-yard line. Michigan State unable to spring the big play in this game. And they have missed 3 field goals in the first half, too. The hand is to Thomas. Thomas to the 44-yard line. 16 yards with Walter Taylor bringing him down.
I've been waiting for him. He has that good daylight running ability, and he has a good spurt. Now, you'll see they're going to be running a draw to the right side of your screen. Bobby Horn, number 94, comes out there. He gets a lead block right there. Feels it. He has that good flexibility and speed. Bursts up there for the 1st down.
Dwayne Goulbourne, who rushed for 99 yards against Michigan last Saturday, checks into the backfield. 1st and 10 Spartans at the Buckeye 44. Goulbourne to the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6. John Saunders, what have you got on this busy Saturday?
Well, Brent, we told you the score. Here's how it happened. Charlie Garner here, 73 yards as he breaks a couple of tackles. Right now, Alabama's outstanding defense has given up over 350 yards to Tennessee in offense. And right now, the Volunteers are leading 17-9. Brent.
And the longest winning streak in college football may be coming to an end down there in that one. 2nd and 6 here for the Spartans. And the hand to Thomas. with Lorenzo Stiles again making a huge play defensively. What a great game he's played at middle linebacker.
He really is playing well. See, he's flowing properly, staying behind the ball. Here he is right here. Now watch him flow properly, stays behind the ball, keeps your shoulder squares, and then attacks. Bang. Good job.
So against Stiles in the Buck defense, Goulbourne returns as the tailback. Michigan State only 1 of 7 in these situations. Needing this one. Underneath. First down. Hits Coleman, who did a great job of breaking free and crossing the 30-yard line. Huge play for Mill the Thrill.
See, they were in a man-to-man coverage in the short zones, Brent. See all these people man-to-man here. See, they're all man-to-man across there, and they're backed up by the safeties. Now, Tito Paul has Mill Coleman right there in the middle of your screen. See, he should not allow him under him like that when you're playing man-to-man. You should take away that inside move.
He's only 5'10", 170, and he's not afraid to go across the middle of the defense. He has demonstrated that repeatedly here today. Thomas, hole right side. Thomas to the 16-yard line. First down, Michigan State.
I wondered where he was. Come on, Green! Again, see, he can attack the line of scrimmage, and then he can bounce. See, it's just the same kind of draw. Getting penetration upfield, they picked it up there, and then that spurt right in between people. No substitute for quickness and agility at the same time.
But a substitute for Thomas on this play as Goulbourne checks back in. And it's Goulbourne, left side, crashes to the 9-yard line. It'll be second down and about 3.
See, they've run 3 big draw plays in this series, Brent. If they're going to stop the draw, they've got to go a little more head-up charges with the defensive linemen and tell the linebackers to hold in there because they're down inside that 20-yard line anyway. They don't have to back up very far. Play that draw strong.
A reminder, Monday night, it's the Los Angeles Raiders and the Denver Broncos on ABC. That has been a great rivalry. 9 Eastern time. Goulbourne battling to the 5-yard line. It'll be a first and goal for Michigan State. Mark Williams there defensively. Now you think that he should come up and throw on this first down now.
I believe in that principle, especially when you've been pounding on him and running. Come with a good, strong play-action fake and get it in the end zone.
Can Oregon get free? He's been a big receiver here today.
For 4 or 5 yards, you bet he can, Brent. So can the back out of the backfield. Bryce Abrams, fullback.
Well, they've used him as a receiver. Coleman split out to the right. It's Goulbourne to the 4-yard line. It's going to be second and goal. Jason Simmons making the slot.
Jason Simmons is a big, tall, string-bean kid. I talked to him yesterday, Brent, about putting on weight for the NFL. He said, I have a hard time putting weight on during the season. In the off-season, my scholarship check is not big enough for me to eat enough, he said.
You would think, nothing is certain in football, but you would think that if Michigan State is to stage an upset, they'd have to get a touchdown this trip and not a field goal. Second down and goal. Miller is going to throw on second down. Pressure. He's going to throw it away. Complete. Out of bounds, though. They took a loss on the play at the 9-yard line. Abrams wrapping it up. They'd actually have been a little bit better off if he'd have dropped it.
Good pressure there. And good poise by Miller. I've seen guys in that same situation, and it was Alonzo Stiles who put the pressure on him. Throw it up for grabs down there.
They're now back by the 5-yard line, so basically it's a push, isn't it?
But boy, this is long yardage on third down there.
Especially with this savage rush.
But I think they should try to get the ball to Coleman down there in this triple side of their formation.
Fourth and goal. Decision time for George Perlis.
Now he'll kick the field goal now.
They have missed their last 3 field goals. Yes, he did. You could see him. He was thinking. He was thinking, but he looked at the scoreboard and he said, we'll kick it.
Kick it. See, the other thing that influences that decision is they're moving the ball well. So he's got to believe he's going to get back down there again.
So we'll return with more after this message and a word from our ABC station.
You want, and it's legal. Watch the next.
Tomorrow night on ABC, America's Funniest Home Videos will start you off, and then look what we've got. Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, and Mrs. Lyle Lovett. She will be in Pretty Woman, the Sunday night movie, tomorrow on ABC. I think Julia Roberts will forgive me, and Stoyanovich finally making a field goal.
He's looking for someone to go high five with. He couldn't find. No one would walk to him.
Look at George. He's got a big smile.
Give him a kiss, George.
Give him a kiss. You keep your scholarship. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. But he made the kick, and he started looking for someone to go high five with, and they were all walking away from him.
Well, let's take another look at a success here. Warming up a little bit. He got it after the intermission.
He got it up quickly, too, didn't he? Good hold, good snap. A lot of things have to go right. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. Look at that smile.
He's a good guy.
George told me a
One
good
of the
story.
good guys.
Told me a good story last week when we were in Michigan State. He says after a loss, he hates to go to Mass on Sunday morning because as he sits down, he feels everybody talking about him and looking at him. And he said, you know, it's even in church, they second guess me, he said.
But last week, he went an hour earlier.
Yeah, and sat up front.
He offered Holy Communion.
Yeah. He's great.
Rinsing out a little bit over there.
He's a great guy.
I'll tell you what, you put a beard on him, folks, and he'd be the greatest Santa Claus in America. Love him.
Now he can be mad at you this week.
Yeah, sure. No, not George. Stoyanovich. But listen, let's not forget, if he'd have hit those three in the first half, they'd be ahead right now.
Right.
It's 21-13. Buckeyes.
That's too short.
There's the fair catch at the 33-yard line. Cedric Saunders.
Taking a look at the numbers, look how Michigan State has pulled away. They were 3 minutes in time of possession at halftime. Look how they've pulled away, eating up that clock in the third quarter. I think you'll probably see Ohio State go to a little more stunning and penetrating style defense to stop them on the line of scrimmage more consistently here in the fourth quarter.
John Cooper and the Buckeye staff have to be extremely concerned about the turnovers so far in this game. There have been 4 for the Bucks, 3 fumbles and an interception. Raymond Harris. There's the Buckeye tailback. Coyne sprinting to the right. Great catch. And incomplete. He was out of bounds. He was out of bounds as Myron Bell made a move at the end of that play. Myron, remember, last week against Michigan, made a couple of huge plays, and he comes up with one here over there on that far side.
Well, I'll tell you who did a good job on that too, Brent, was Juan Hammonds, a defensive end. He forced the quarterback who was sprinting out. He wouldn't allow him to turn his shoulders and get in good position to throw the ball. He forced him to the sideline. Did a nice job.
Galloway off to Hoyne's right. Glenn, the motion receiver. Galloway. Now he'll come back the other way. Hoyne throws a great block for him. Galloway to the 40.
First down.
To the 43, and a first down, Buckeyes. Reggie Garnett, I'll tell you, it's going to be close down.
Might be inches short, Brent. Inches short, possibly. Talk about talent. It's a one-man quick screen, action away. See, there's a wide receiver out there is going to block for him now. Look at this. Look at the wall form over here. It's like a punt return now. They pick him up. Cedric Saunders, 85. Look at there.
But the key block was thrown by Bobby Hoyne, and I believe that when they spotted this ball, they left it just a little short. But anyway, here are the chains. Let's see.
Inches short.
Buster Tillman brings the play in from Cooper's sideline. (21-13).
Well, Ohio State defense had a great short yardage play earlier in the ball game. Michigan State needs the same kind of play right now.
Harris set behind Jeff Cothran. First down.
That glaring difference in time of possession shows you how misleading time of possession can be. You know, a higher percentage of great big plays is actually more important, and that's the only reason they're in the lead right now. But being -4 in turnovers and leading is almost impossible if the team is anywhere close to you. Look at the difference there.
Near midfield. Allen tackles him.
That's their favorite off-tackle play. Fullback kick out, pull the backside guard. And Raymond Harris is a good, strong, tough runner. The kind of back you'd like to have in the fourth quarter in a situation when you've got to eat up some time and move the football. Came out of a tough area in Lauren, Cleveland area there. Brent, you know, I read an article that when he came to school here, he had never had Chinese food, never had a fruit salad, never saw a taco before. So college football's done him a lot of good. At least he knows how to eat a taco.
2nd and 6.
Oh, man.
Blasts across the 45-yard line.
They pulled the backside guard, Jason Winrow, and let the fullback, Jeff Cothran. Now watch, the big fullback is going to lead through here, and then they pull the guard around through as well as the offensive guard blocks down. That's a lot of meat coming at the point of attack. Look at that. Wham! Boy.
First down. 12:45. Bucks up by 8. Here's the toss to Harris. He was cut off at the 45-yard line. Howard Triplett comes up, but Aaron Jackson broke across. John Saunders, what's up?
Brent, Washington and UCLA, Wayne Cook and J.J. Stokes. Have I said that recently today? Well, this one's from 6 yards. The 4th time they hooked up on the day for a touchdown, tying Sean LaChapelle's record. Brent, back to you.
Bruins to the Rose Bowl, perhaps.
Got a chance. They have that one loss to Cal early season, so they're going to need some help. Cal was behind at Washington State there, that scored a little while ago.
No, they'll need help against Arizona. That great defense out there. Take a break here with this timeout. 11:56 to go.
Golfers travel coast to coast in an unprecedented round of golf. Coverage of the Chrysler American Great 18 begins tomorrow on ABC.
Well, our regional lineup next Saturday on ABC is starting to take shape. Many of you will see Illinois at Michigan. Alabama going into Mississippi, Fresno State, BYU. If you'd like to see another game in addition to the one that's on your ABC station, call your cable operator. See if you've got pay-per-view, and you can check in for a second one. Jeff Cothran in as the running back on 2nd and 9. Joey Galloway's been rather quiet here in this half. Hoyne looking in his direction. Going deep, intercepted. Picked up by Wasilic. The center fielder, Wasilic, to the 40-yard line. Another turnover. That's 5 for the Buckeyes. 11:45 to go.
That was a bad mistake, because it was a pre-snap look, double zone all the way, and try to throw the post in between the double zone like that was a very bad fundamental mistake by a young quarterback. No reason to throw that. He had time. He had time to throw that properly to the underneath coverage.
And And still the Buckeyes are ahead. I'm not sure that I've ever seen a football game in which the turnovers were 5-0. And that team with the 5 still held the lead. That's amazing, isn't it? Here's Miller pulling back. Now Miller wide open. First down at the 41-yard line. Napoleon Outlaw, the wide receiver. And now the Spartans, and just as you said, Dick, they know they can move the ball, kick that field goal, they can bring it back down.
And the other thing that they did, and I questioned it early in the game and through the first half of playing Holman all the time and not Thomas and Goulbourne, but now they have 2 fine backs that have rotated and they're fresh and they have that quickness that Holman may not have if he were still playing.
This is Thomas. Complete. Starting to move the ball through the air. Bryce Abrams, the fullback.
The only way you can stop that nickel and dime high percentage throwing is to lock on some of your coverages man-to-man and back them up with the 2 safeties. That's the only way to stop it.
They are doing a superb job of blocking Big Daddy.
They are. He really has not been a dominating factor. He's been a factor, but he hasn't been a dominating factor. Here's a
draw play. And close to another first down. Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, one of the reasons why the Michigan State Spartans might be able to accomplish that feat against Big Daddy is Coach Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator, has been toying with the lineman splits throughout the game. Each and every series he comes back and he discusses it individually with both tackles, both guards, and the center. So far, he's very happy. He wasn't in the first quarter, but just that last series, he said, now we've got it down.
See, he wants to keep them spread out, I'm pretty sure. The offensive linemen have a tendency to tighten up.
3rd and 1. Goulbourne struggling for the first down. 10:20 to go. Plenty of time. The ball is at the Buckeye 29-yard line, and in effect, how often can you turn it over before you're finally behind on the scoreboard?
You know what a nut I am in regard to stats and following numbers.
Oh, really? We didn't know that.
But in the National Football League, if you're -1 in turnovers, you lose 3 out of 4 times. You really do.
Fake of the draw. Throw complete to Oregon.
Jesus, he's strong.
Look at that. There were 8 red shirts, I believe, around him at one time.
Is he strong or is he strong?
He comes out like he's the next Mike Ditka.
Plus, Miller took a heck of a shot when he threw that football. Boy, he's a tough young man.
Now, 2nd down and 4. At the Buckeye 22. Miller with 278 yards passing. Hands off to Thomas, who is ripped by Chico Nelson.
Very good call by Bill Young, the defensive coordinator. That's a safety blitz. The only way the safety can get up there and make that play is for the coordinator to call that specific defense. Good call by Bill Young.
And the ball brought back to the Buckeye 25-yard line. 3rd and 6. Goulbourne checking with his quarterback.
We're running out of time.
Blitzing again. Throwing complete, a diving catch by Carter. Nigel Carter, the freshman who dropped one in the first half, comes back with a big-time catch for a first down.
They did lock up and go man-to-man, and he beat it to the outside. See, breaking away from the defender, thrown right where it had to be thrown. Nice catch by that young freshman, a true freshman.
Fingertip catch right here.
Yes.
Extends, grabs the ball. Great strength in the hands just to hold on. And it's a first down now. Hold on. Buckeyes reeling here a bit, leading 21-13. They've been shut out in the second half. 8:40 to go. Spartans are on the drive. Goulbourne is the running back. And here he comes. wrapped up by Jason Simmons.
Did you see Jimmy Miller, the quarterback, that time? He lined up behind the right guard rather than the offensive center, and he had to catch himself and move over and get lined up properly. Good thing he didn't call a snap count. Look at him right here. Right here he is. That's the right guard. Here's the center right here. Now he's going to move back over. Right.
He would tell you that he just wanted that right side to hear him.
He made it look good.
Second down. 3 receivers are out to Miller's left. Throws incomplete. Milt Coleman had cut back to the inside. He's down at the 10-yard line. He's fine. He bounces back up.
See, Larry Coker, the secondary coach for the Buckeyes, now has him in that tight man-to-man, Brent, down there, trying to take away that high percentage throwing, and that's what they did that time.
Defensive call being signaled in.
Tough defensive call, too. Tough defensive call right now. Do you go back to your zone coverage because you've been in man-to-man twice in a row, or no? They're going like blitz coverage right now.
That's
Looks like
right. Nelson's coming up, 3rd and 9, and the penalty flag. The clock I saw still showed a second left.
Dead ball, full start, offense, 5 yards.
Boy, that's a big penalty.
Instead of 3rd and 9, it is 3rd and 14.
See, now what that does too, Brent, is that maybe changes your mind defensively. I can get out of my blitz coverage. I can give him the 5 or 6 yard pass. I just don't want to give him the big one.
Michigan State with a couple of downs here to get to the 7-yard line where they would have a first down. This is 3rd and 14. With the penalty, the ball back on the Buckeye 21-yard line.
Good going man blitz.
Under pressure, throws for the end zone and broken up by Walter Taylor.
The blitz got to him, but Walter Taylor didn't even know where the ball was, Brent. He was beaten, but the ball, he waved his arm, and I think the ball hit his left arm. Now, the pressure comes. Here comes the blitz. Craig Powell at the top of your screen, number 84. See, they can't pick up everybody. They don't get him picked up. They stun up inside. There's Brown, Randall Brown, 56. They knocked him down. The ball to the right side of your screen. Now, watch Taylor, number 2. See, he never did see the ball or...
Now a 39-yard field goal by Stoyanovich here on 4th down. No good. He misses for the 4th time. But still a lot of time for Michigan State. 7:53. The Buckeyes have yet to mount a scoring drive here in the second half. Sentry. He's finished that nice snack that Jackaroo took him. He'll be back to see if his pillow is still there so he can take a little nap. Meanwhile, big change with the Buckeyes. Brett Powers checks in at quarterback. 7:53 to go. 21-13. Buckeyes scoreless in the second half. Powers engineered a scoring drive in the first half. Raymond Harris to the 25, and we go to New York and John Saunders.
Very frightening moment in this game between Oklahoma and Colorado. That's Cale Gundy, the quarterback for the Sooners. You see, he could not get his arm down. His head hits the turf. He has a concussion, was airlifted to the hospital. He was conscious, however. Brent, back to you.
So Colorado goes into Norman, and it looks like they're going to come away with a win. Coach Gibbs has not had success against Colorado or Nebraska. This appeared to be the year after the licking they gave Texas A&M, but it's not to be as Colorado comes up big in Norman today. Sanders is your motion receiver. Harris through a hole on the right side. That was, let me check that. That was Benode.
Howing 14-21, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Power 2 of 3. The quarterback that's been outstanding in the second half has been Miller. He's 12 of 15. 12 of 15. That's hard to do.
Not. enjoying his afternoon in Columbus. Not planning to buy a condominium here anytime soon. Third down. Off a fake. Powers drops down, and the receiver had one knee down right there at the 23-yard line. Cedric Saunders, the tight end. And the Buckeyes are forced to punt. So switching quarterbacks did not turn out to be successful. With 6:15 to go, 21-13. And Mill Coleman is set to return this punt. Our surfer, Scott Turner, will punt it away. He's standing at the Buckeye 11-yard line. And there's Coleman.
Coleman's long for the year. This year returning his 13. Last year he had a 40-yarder. He hasn't had that opportunity. Lousy one.
And with a big rush up front, a bad punt by Turner, and Michigan State in business.
Both coaches right now really must be really upset about their kicking game. I mean, really. God darn it.
Well, if Ohio State could just get close enough for Williams to kick one. They can't even do that here in the second half. They have self-destructed with turnovers.
Get a little too greedy going downfield, but even at that, the one they intercepted that Hoying threw, the ball should not have been thrown.
A 14-yard punt. The ball being brought back in at the 38-yard line after that 14-yarder. Craig Thomas checking with Miller. Miller red hot for the Spartans. They'll put it up again. Successfully over the middle. Touchdown, Michigan State. Scott Green, the fullback. What a great catch and run by Green.
Scott Green with a touchdown.
They'll go for 2 now, and the tie. Remember, they trailed it by 8.
He's coming from the wing position off to the right side of your screen. They went to a double zone. You'll see the safeties down here at the bottom going double zone there. He comes from the right side right down the hole. Linebackers in front doing what they're supposed to. The safeties just didn't collapse quick enough. They shouldn't allow that guy off the line of scrimmage that quick.
Timeout. Big 2-point conversion coming up for the Spartans. They trail at 21-19. 5:37 to go. We're coming right back. Scott Green, Canandaigua, New York. You won't see any better effort than this. Blasted inside the 5. He takes 2 defenders with him and muscles into the end zone. The young man was an all-around athlete in New York. He earned letters in basketball and lacrosse. He was on the Finger Lakes League All-Star Western Region All-Star team. And now Michigan State going for 2 in the tie. And still a lot of time left in this game. Bryce Abrams, as the shift is made, Coleman comes over to the right. They shift just before the snap. Rollins, Miller. Miller throws. Catch, tied. The conversion's good. Great grab by Coleman, but the shift was beautiful. They came with it late, and there's a penalty flag down. Hold on. A penalty flag down at the 11-yard line.
They made that drastic shift. Personal foul.
Against the Buckeyes, it's tied at 21. Watch this. Ohio State's coaches did not get a good look.
See, now watch the drastic shift. They're in man-to-man. That causes all the defense. See the defense coming over there? The defense is a little bit late in getting set up. They sprint out. There's pressure up underneath. He gets rid of the ball, throws it high into the outside. Now watch this. Coleman go up for that ball. Excellent, excellent play made by an excellent, excellent athlete.
Okay. 5.5 minutes to go now, Dick Vermeil. I want to put you on the other side, over in the Ohio State. That's the side that's under pressure right now. Well, John, I want to ask you about the quarterback situation. You have switched off your starter. Your backup was not that successful. What do you do now?
I'd say with the last guy was in the ball game, and my thinking would be I have a real good field goal kicker. I have a real good field goal kicker. I'm going to get it down there. I'm not going to take too many chances. I'll mix it up, but I'll stay with the guy that I put in there last time.
A big time comeback. Now remember, they'll be kicking it off up around midfield. In fact, they'll kick it from the 50, roughing the quarterback on the 2-point conversion. So Stoyanovich into a little bit of a breeze here in Columbus. Been an overcast Saturday afternoon. Unless they let Cedric Saunders fair catch for the 4th time here at about the 20-yard line. Let's see what the kicking team comes up with here for Michigan State. We are tied. 5:37 to go. 21 all. A spirited comeback led by Jim Miller. 27 of 37 for 323 yards for the Spartans. This is a team that, if nothing else, has demonstrated a lot of heart again here this afternoon. They've given up 3 touchdowns to Joey Galloway in the first half. And they have shut him down here in the second half.
And they really, you know, haven't tried to get the high percentage throws to Galloway enough, Brent, like the slant patterns and that stuff. They've been going a little bit too deep with those exaggerated play action passes, and that's what got picked off that last time.
Now Stoyanovich muscles this one into the end zone, and it'll be down there coming out to the 20. You know, there's a lot of heart and character around this Michigan State team, and for a story on that, let's go to Jack Arute. Jack?
Brent, that's an understatement. After their victory last week, the team learned about a youngster that was in high school named Brian Falzone, who passed away on October 1st. His parents called the Michigan State Spartans and said, Brian was such a big football fan that what we would like to do is we'd like to have the Spartan S engraved on his tombstone. George Perlis heard the story, went to his team after the Michigan victory, told them, and you know what the team did? They voted to give the game ball to the Falzone family. Now they say they have their own personal guardian angel. It seems as if maybe Brian is somewhere upstairs smiling down on this team today.
And I'm sure, Jack, the Falzone family is watching and cheering for this rally as Powers stays in at quarterback, drops it off to the fullback, who is blasted out of bounds by Myron Bell, taking Jeff Cothran out. We talked about Galloway, Dick. Only 1 catch in this half for 9 yards.
Right. Well, see what they did too with their approach coming out on this drive, Brent. They got in the I formation, straight I with the split end flanker, which is a run formation. They drop back and throw the quick pass. High percentage throwing.
With Dick Vermeil, Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger. Bill Webb is your director. Tim Belton, your producer. Glad you're along with us. 5:30 to go now. Buckeyes and Spartans are tied at 21. It's been a Big Ten Donnybrook, with the Spartans coming from behind. Now 2nd and 2. Benode is stuffed by Kenny Allen, who was the defensive player of the week for his effort against Michigan last Saturday.
He did an awfully nice job. George just beams when he talks about this young guy. He's only a sophomore out of Detroit Mumford High School. Honor roll student when he was in high school as well. Excellent technique on that play as well, Brent.
Corey Stringer, splendid young tackle, shaken up on the play. Stringer will have to come out for at least a play. He's had a bit of a tender ankle, I know, earlier this year. And
boy, he's a franchise player too. Look at him. Just a sophomore, 6'6", 310 pounds. Started 6 games last year as a true freshman and started every one this year.
Go
ahead, Brent.
Excuse me, Dick. I was going to say,
they said he could be the most talented big offensive tackle they've ever had here.
You bet. He's really fine. Raymond Harris back in. 3rd and 1. Bucks need a yard. The 5-minute mark to keep this drive going. More than that. To the 39. First down.
They gave it to the right guy. That's a very fundamental play. And they've been running a motion man and running toward the motion man. This time they run the motion man and run away from him. Many times teams will slant toward a tendency if you tend to run toward a motion man. The motion is used for the linebackers to call that slant in that direction. This time they countered and went away.
Now the kicker's staying loose over there on the sideline for the Bucks. 1st and 10. Brett Powers. This is the first time this year that Ohio State has been under pressure. Powers off a play fake, goes back to Harris. He's blasted at the 45, but that is good for 7 yards.
It isn't that complicated. See, it really isn't. If they're going to play zone, you run play action. If it doesn't look good downfield, just drop it off to the guy. That's a nice play. 7 yards, headed down in distance. When you force it against the zone is when you get it picked off.
You can see the the emotion now on the faces, both sides. Powers, 5 of 6, 90 yards, and that one touchdown to Joey Galloway. Second down, and Harris battling first down, very close, depending on where they spot the ball. And there's a situation by quarters. The Bucks have been shut out here in the second half. So the young man who transferred from Arizona State back in 1991, Brett Powers, played his high school football at Cactus High in Glendale, Arizona. This is his last year of eligibility after transferring up here. He was a fine All-State player down in Arizona. He was also a 2-time All-State basketball player down there.
You know what he could do right now is finish his career as a starter if he can come up with a good performance right here, Brent, because obviously they're not pleased with Bobby Hoying. Look at that, consecutive weeks since 1966. Where were you in 1966?
Raymond Harris, 3rd and 1. And the blast by Jeff Cothran. First down, Buckeyes, 3:20 to go. Trying to get close enough for their splendid field goal specialist, Tim Williams. Dick, you asked me about 1966. I honestly had to think about it for a moment. I was still back working for the newspaper, the old Chicago American. I'd forgotten the name momentarily. I was covering some baseball and the old Chicago Bears, George Halas and that bunch.
I was an assistant at Stanford University working for John Ralston, Bill Walsh, Mike White, Jim Mora, pretty good staff.
Those were good days, huh? 1st and 10. Benode is in at running back. Swings to the left, and he is run out of bounds at the 46-yard line. That was Glover there defensively, and Alabama jumps back into a tie. We got 2 of them tied right now. Not a bad afternoon. I hope some of you folks with pay-per-view are enjoying both of them. 2:54. The Bucks and the Spartans are tied, but the Buckeyes are on the move. We said at the top of the broadcast that the thing that separated Ohio State from the rest of the conference this year was their field goal specialist. And now it could indeed come down to Tim Williams.
And he's 6 for 6 this year, Brent. He hadn't missed one yet. I don't want to jinx him or anything, but
Powers off a neat fake, using the underneath receiver, the 40-yard line. This will leave them with 3rd and about a yard. That was Cedric Saunders, the tight end. Let's talk about Williams. He has the career mark for field goals here. Getting ready, 45 out of 69. His career long is 52 yards. He's 4 of 7 for 50 or more in his career. And he's the young man on the sideline. In case you did not see the first half, Michigan State missed 3 first-half field goals. Now they're in a tie, 21 all, 2:47. They've also missed another one here in the second half. So they have missed a total of 4 field goals here today. They're 2 of 6. That's the Spartan story. Tim Williams has yet to attempt one. This is Harris blasting, and that for the first down. Now 2:43, and the Bucks just bring it on down. There's a young man who played a fine game for Michigan State. And a reminder tonight on ABC, Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan ruin a wonderful friendship by falling in love. When Harry met Sally, that's a dandy. Then a drug dealer selling to kids, and the feds are protecting him. An all-new Commish tonight after the movie, right here on ABC. Dick, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
When Harvey and Met Sally was
Harry.
a class, Harry, that was a great movie. It really, I can remember a few scenes. I
missed Harvey meeting Sally. I missed that one. I've got to get that one at my local video store. Okay, 1st and 10 now for the Bucks. Short drop. Complete. Did he? No. Let's see how they wave it off. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Had to hold on that one. Terry Glenn, freshman receiver, slanting across for Brett Powers. Looked like he had a good shot at it.
He did. He should have made the catch, Brent. They're showing their coverage, and Michigan State does this. They'd rather show you their coverage and play it well rather than disguise it and not get to where they're supposed to to be after the snap. So it's pretty defined for the quarterback throwing that slant up inside that double zone and underneath those deep safeties. That should have been a cut football.
They're going to need a few more yards to get in safe range for Williams. The saga of the kickers here today in Columbus. 2nd and 10. Powers. Deep drop. Throws over Saunders' head and incomplete. And now it is 3rd and 10 at the 2:17 mark.
They like to go to 3 wide receivers in the 3rd and long situation, Brent, and they've been pretty good on 3rd and long through the year. But they like to go to 3 and read the coverage and then call the pattern they want to in that situation after reading the coverage.
Just when the entire area was ready to elevate Ohio State to number 2, they are in a tie with Michigan State and 2:17 to go. 3rd and 10. Galloway is in the slot to the left. Powers looks for him. Galloway makes a great catch at the 21-yard line. Keeps it alive here in Columbus, and there's things happening all over the place. John Saunders, what about Alabama, Tennessee?
Brent, it came down to the final few seconds of the game. David Palmer lining up at quarterback on the 2-point conversion. He rushes it to the end zone, tying the game 17-17, and that's the way it ends up. So it is now 29 straight, Alabama undefeated, although it's just a tie on this day. Back to you.
Well, here, John, we're tied at the 2-minute mark. However, they are getting down into Tim Williams' range if they bog down. Raymond Harris still a running back. Callaway with a huge catch. A blast by Harris to the 10.
I'll tell you, you gotta love him. You gotta love that kind of runner. He is a tough son of a gun. He didn't get the block at the point of attack either, Brent. He didn't get that one.
Now, I want to go back to the play before, just before we saw the Tennessee update. This is the key play right here. Galloway with a first down.
He's right in the middle of your screen, number 7, man-to-man coverage right there. See, now he breaks away from it, he freezes him, and the ball is thrown perfectly. High into the outside, he gets his feet down. Excellent, excellent execution.
17 yards on 3rd and 10. And a Spartan is down at the 12-yard line, being tended to there by the medical staff. So Raymond Harris comes up big, and it's going to be a 1st and goal as the result of this run with Steve Wasilic down.
You'll see right here, you'll see to the left side of your screen, he doesn't get a great block right there. He gets outside in his own speed. It runs right over the top of Triplett, takes on Wasilic right there, butts him to the ground, and keeps the ball moving forward. Effort.
All right, well, Wasilic is Wasilic being assisted over there to the sideline, and he took a blow to the head, so he is out. 2 minutes left. Raymond Harris, he's the tailback. On 1st down, Harris battles to the 6-yard line. We welcome those of you who watch Tennessee and Alabama. Here in Columbus, Ohio, we're tied at 21 with 1:30 to go. With Dick Vermeil and Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger. The Buckeyes are moving in for either a touchdown or a field goal. George Perlis and the Spartans missed 3 field goals. John Cooper with 21 points in the first half, and they have been shut out in the second half. Now on the drive with Brett Powers. It's been a tough day for the top 10. Ohio State scores at the 1:06 mark. Buckeyes appear to have stayed unbeaten.
No comment all through the game, Brent, about the big, strong offensive line. They strapped it on that drive. They strapped it on.
Back with 1:06 to go. And Raymond Harris, 22 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown that may have kept the Buckeyes unbeaten and untied.
It also proves, though, Brent, that the Michigan State win last week was no fluke. Everybody's saying, hey, it was just emotion. Michigan didn't play well. Michigan State, good football team.
There are a number of good football teams in the Big Ten this year for a change.
I'm anxious to see Wisconsin.
Well, I want to see Illinois' defense.
I enjoyed watching them this week, Brent. You'll enjoy watching them next week.
This is Fullman from the 2. Slammed at the 15-yard line. Alex Rodriguez again, number 48.
Excellent blocking by the big tackle here, turning out, the guard blocking down, Winrow coming around, leading by the fullback. Touchdown, well executed. Now watch big Winrow, 65, come around, he seals it, good block by the fullback, seal it, good turnout block, touchdown.
So it's Jim Miller, the senior quarterback. His 3 dangerous wide receivers are to his right. He's thrown for better than 300 yards here today. Firing to the tight end, Oregon, at the 23-yard line.
They have 2 timeouts, but they only 50 seconds. They got to keep it moving, then use one, keep one.
On second down, Coolborn. They keep it moving down at the 25-yard line. Now it's 3rd down and 1.
I think he should have used a timeout.
Top clock still running. Diving reception there at the 38 for a first down. It's Carter. 13 seconds to go. And timeout. And we want to show you what this day is all about. Florida State appears to be safe as number 1. But Alabama tied and certainly figures to fall out of that perch, don't they? Notre Dame goes later. BYU. Florida beaten. Ohio State struggles in the second half, but now they're up by 7. Nebraska won. Penn State lost. Miami's idle. Oklahoma lost. And Tennessee also tied. So the polls next week are going to undergo a shakeup. How about this for a Saturday? 13 seconds to go. By far the most dramatic and interesting Saturday of this college football season. And now Miller, George Perlis's quarterback, 30 of 40 for 345 yards, but only 13 seconds left to work with here, Dick.
Well, you know what they really did, Brent, that they took too much time. They used 40 seconds to run 3 plays. You know, you'd like to believe, especially when you have 2 timeouts, you could get more plays executed in that time. But Miller, boy, I don't want to fault him. He has had an outstanding day. He's done a real good job. Their offensive line has done a great job pass protecting.
The Spartans are 62 yards away from the end zone. 13 seconds to work with.
They're only rushing 3.
Fires complete. That'll stop the clock. Ball is at the Buckeye 46-yard line with 6 seconds to go.
I think it's time now to go Hail Mary. You maybe get 2 shots at it, Brent.
Now Miller. The clock is running out as he throws it down the field. This one's over. The Buckeyes stay unbeaten.